Quiet! You light up the city sky, shining bright like a supernova. Your love is a force of mine, making my heart race like a motor. Chains can't hold me down, with a flick I'll break free. Every villain in this town better step back and let us be. Tokyo calling, don't be shy. It's happy hour, and here's why. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your love's a shockwave, making hearts beat faster. Whoa, 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 my heart's in overdrive. Searching through the neon glow, my heart burns like a fire. I'll melt the shadows, you know, with the love that never tires. We're going on a quest to protect what we cherish, but don't lose sight of our best. In the dawn, let our worries perish. Don't feel calling, don't be shy. It's happy hour, and here's why. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your love's a shockwave, making hearts beat faster. Whoa, 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 my heart's in overdrive. No force can shatter the peace we have found. Our bond is like a tether, stronger with each challenge. Tokyo calling, don't be shy. It's happy hour, and here's why. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your love's a shockwave, making hearts beat faster. Whoa, 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 my heart's in overdrive. On this journey we defend our love strong and bright. Bring back the joy, my friend, let's ignite the night. Tokyo calling, don't be shy. It's happy hour, and here's why. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your love's a shockwave, making hearts beat faster. Whoa, 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 my heart's in overdrive. I wonder if Josh is gonna make this time.
You know what? I can't blame Josh for not being here. Like, this is awful. Bandai officially announces they're going after DEI. They're embracing it headlong, and their reasoning makes about as much sense as, I don't know, the moon being made out of cheese. Here to help me wrap my head around this is the lovely Miss Nerdigans.
Buddy Cider, and hi, Bounding fans. I'm dealing with a very fussy kitty. I don't know why Zeno does this every week. He decides to be fussy.
Maybe it's the signal. Maybe it's the signal going out. Maybe it's the theme song. I don't know. Some people out in the chat aren't a fan of it. Some people in the chat aren't a fan of it.
I don't know if you can hear him. He was just meowing just now.
No. That's the beauty of the headset. Limits everything right down. But,
well, he has an opinion and he wants people to hear it, I guess.
Well, I'm sure he isn't happy about this. The leader of the quality assurance department, I believe, is what said this. Miura And she was brainwashed by a Newzoo set of polls. This is Newzoo is a company over here in the West, kind of like Rasmussen and Pew Research, only, you know, a little sketchier because they didn't tell Bandai Namco who they polled, but apparently the people that Newzoo polled were absolutely in love with DEI and wanted way more of it. Now, the people in Bandai, being in Japan, said, wow, these people in the West really like this DEI stuff, so we're going to embrace it wholeheartedly now. And here we go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna scroll down. I can't save it. I really can't. We're gonna scroll down and find out just what this whole thing was all about.
Well, I do want to mention this because I was the one that found this. I was going through. I have this website I have that goes through Japanese Twitter and Japanese websites, and I saw this and I was just like, whoa! I couldn't believe this was actually happening when I saw this, and I was reading through it, and I was first of all overwhelmed because I made a thread on this on my Twitter, and I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this without it being like a long thread? And then, as you'll see in Spencer's article, I narrowed it down to the in-house DEI training, which I thought was very, very bizarre.
Right.
Especially when it came to the character hair and the gender didn't surprise me.
Well, just get this, okay? This was her reasoning, all right? So Miura next recalled that her experience with DEI began during development of Blue Protocol. Now, we have an update about that mess too, so don't worry. If you're curious what that is, we'll fill you in just a little bit. During which a player complained that they did not feel represented due to the game's lack of black hairstyles in its character creator. Quote, she says, quote, I realize that's what diversity means. Not being represented not only means that the demand for self-expression cannot be met, but it also means that we may not be able to imagine the identities of many of the players. Wow. So let me just put this into perspective.
And this is what I said too, and I've been getting called racist for it. I said, so because people who probably weren't even playing the game were bitching about a hairstyle, that's how this happened. And I get called racist for it. I'm like, well, I'm all for customization, but if it's going through like this, like we've seen this multiple times over like how many years now, then that's where I have to draw the line.
Well, it gets so much worse because you think like, oh, okay, so that was kind of silly. That's obviously an excuse, right? That's not a real thing. That she just decided hairstyle was something she was going to pin her I'm not a racist to commentary on, you know? Yeah. So here we go. What gets even funnier is that is the first pillar of the implementation of their DEI protocols. No, they're serious. They're like, we've been really racist with our lack of dreads and lack of Zoomer hair. We've been lack of Zoomer hairing it up in here, and that's not diverse and inclusion and equity enough. But that's what it is right here. Character hair.
But yeah, the other thing that I thought was interesting while going through this, and I made sure to put it in my thread, was that she did recognize that, and more companies need to realize this too, and this is a huge problem here in the West. She did recognize that there's some certain things that you just cannot implement DEI in. Like if it's the game is like takes place in a Japanese school, like an all Japanese school, you can't implement DEI in that kind of setting because it's an all Japanese school. It's just something that you can't like do forced diversity in. So it's like at least there is some common sense there. It is there, but it's like at the same time, it's like you see the rest of this and it's like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Well, so, and again, Miura is the quality assurance department head. So this is everybody everywhere. And this was a meeting for the entirety of Bandai Namco's leadership.
Online department. It was their online department.
So anybody who was available to come in, came in. And so this would be another thing is that they want to make sure that character gender is represented there. So you know how your Pokemon Go players all of a sudden turned into square boxes? They were more rectangular than any other shape. The bloated kind of boxes that have been in a puddle too long. Yeah. That's what most of your characters coming out of Bandai Namco's products are going to look like going forward. And this is the most bizarre one. Accessibility. And I had to ask myself, like, are there any games made past 2009 that don't have a hearing difficulty option?
I'm not sure. Or
I think
something
every
for,
game
like,
I've
for the
played,
blind?
well, the blind one's a little trickier, right?
Yeah.
Because that's an entirely different game. But the hearing situation, you can get like arrows will point, and then like your controller will vibrate when a character is talking, so you know to turn and look, that kind of thing. So
I think that's just a common sense thing to put accessibility in there. But the one that really stood out to me, though, was the differences in cultures and values, because she was talking about how Japan is more of a high culture and the West is more of a low culture. And when I was reading that, I was like, okay, this kind of maybe can explain like why there's a more dumbed down, censored version of Japanese content that, and this has been happening for several years now, why it's been like that. And this is like before DEI even was a thing.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. They like we were talking about a few weeks ago, when you told us that the companies themselves are beginning to censor just out of the gate. They're not like obeying anybody's rule. They're saying, before we have to cut it out, let's just not put it in to begin with.
Yeah.
And great. And
it's so crazy that like this is happening. They're even being forefront with it. Well, let's be real. Square Enix was kind of forefront with it in the first place. And I mean, if you look at like 4Kids, or even like Capcom USA with what they did with Ace Attorney, for example, like that's kind of obvious that there was this kind of difference between high and low culture. But like to see it kind of spelled out in like this way, though, and more of like an academic way like this, it's very interesting, and it kind of explains a lot of how Japan kind of views the West. And if you've taken like a cultural class before, it feels so weird to see the West being called as has low culture like this.
Well,
it
so
really does.
What she gets that from, though, and something that she dwelled on for just a minute, was for some reason, and I think I've seen this because there's a lot of like Spider Sona type people, but I think that she's right to this degree. But I want to point out that cosplay came from Japan before we say anything here. The Newzoo survey, according to the survey, the West, people in the USA, Canada, Europe, England, so on and so forth, Australia, they said that they tend to project themselves onto a video game character. And whereas in the East, they don't do this so much. They just say, hey, that's a neat Prince of Tennis character. Let's play some tennis. That's what they do.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Hold on. Well, based on the slide that I saw, it was the US and UK that they were looking at.
Well, and I can understand this because, again, we see a lot of people that are like the obsessed shippers are kind of like the best example in my mind of the people that quite literally had to break up Kylo Ren and, Adam Driver from his wife in real life in order to get him with Daisy Ridley to fulfill an on-screen relationship that lasted all of about half an hour.
The Justin Bieber fans as well, and the Taylor Swift Swifties. Like, these people are really psycho.
Right, and that's what she's pointing to. But I want to issue a point that the Japanese are the ones that started cosplay. They started fan fiction. They started doujinshi. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, doujinshi.
And so doujinshi. And so again, like, so every part of like incorporating the character into yourself started over there, lady. All right? Everybody's doing the same thing on both sides of the Pacific here, and the Atlantic, I guess.
But there's a
England
difference,
can come
though.
too.
Well, the difference is that we're, of course, a lot of it is with Japan. They still have like the nuclear family, and everything still has that solid foundation. So kids are raised to be able to have critical thinking skills, and they are able to differentiate fiction from reality. Here in the West, you notice that you don't have that as much. The nuclear family is basically broken. And people like millennial are not, I wouldn't say people my age, obviously, but I would say like the younger millennials and Zoomers, there are a lot more of them that come from broken homes and they don't have that stable family structure. And they don't have, they weren't raised with those critical thinking skills. And also, you have the technology factor on top of that. So, because they don't have that, they are disassociated from reality and they can't separate themselves from fiction and reality.
Well, and again, we see this sort of playing out already in the Gundam characters that are all tricked out there in that Gundam Netflix series.
Oh yeah, the Requiem for Vengeance, I think it is.
Yeah, the Requiem for Vengeance characters. Let's see, Requiem. I just want to bring up.
Oh, the SJW characters.
Yeah, if I could find a picture of them, because if you're,
I feel like those characters though, like part of me is just like, this is Sunrise taking it out on Netflix for like fucking with them and screwing up Cowboy Bebop.
maybe, but man, to sacrifice Gundam for that, I'm not sure. I don't think the scales balance out. Okay, here's a good one where you can see everybody. Yeah. DEI is definitely running the show as far as Western crossover development goes. Like, look at this. These are Xeon pilots, okay?
Like why do SJWs want to be the villains all of a sudden? I thought they wanted to be the heroes. It's like that's what I'm like Sunrise is doing this to get back at Netflix because
man, to sacrifice Gundam for it is wicked bold. But look at that. You got your charm tattoos, your nice little SJW. My bangs are straight. You know, my bangs are straight. And then you've got, female protagonist that doesn't want to have sex with you, but also kind of does, and then also hates you because you're the wrong, phenotype. You know, you love those ones, like the new Dustborn character, right? You know that one. We'll get into Dustborn later. And then we have Mohawk and Mutton Chops. I have no idea. You just hit random on the character creator, I guess. I don't know. Like Mohawk and Mutton Chops. Bizarre. Nerdigans had to go deal with Xeno. And this is what it is. This is what Gundam is. If you watched Metaverse recently, Metaverse is way out there with the gender coding. They are way out there with non-binary conversation, pronoun education. They are out there with boys are hyper aggressive and angry and want to fight all the time. We see the return of Sakai from Build Fighters Try, and all he is this aggressive psychopath that won't stop laughing as he's attacking the female protagonist, who is in no way as powerful as him. This has been, Gundam is getting it so hard right now because, again, you look at the history of it, and there's been exactly a half female protagonist before we got the man, I don't even know what to call Witch from Mercury anymore because it's not a Yuri story. They had to retcon that in a hurry, but I don't know what to call that. That's like it's like a slice of life.
Baiting. It's a queer baiting
queer bait. Life. Yeah, queer bait slice of life with child soldiers smattered into the middle of it. I don't understand. It's like going to Subway and getting this big and overdone sandwich and then taking a wad of paste and just pluck into the middle of it, It's crazy.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's what's coming to the Netflix one. Again, you've watched the Gundam Build Metaverse, I believe it's called now.
Yeah.
That is massively SJW now.
Well, yeah, I think that was included on the first slide of the presentation because Blue Protocol was on there and Gundam Builders, I think, was on there too.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's really so disappointing to see Bandai go this way. But I've been telling people since I did those interviews 2 years ago now, Kitty? Yeah, that from my insiders, my video game insiders, that this has been the Western consultants have inserted themselves into the industry, video game industry, in 2014, 2015-ish is when the Western consultants got into the video game industry. Anime industry, I think it was, I know it was before 2018 because that's when my Crunchyroll insiders said that when I met them at Crunchyroll Expo, they said they were already in there. So yeah, the video game industry, it needs a huge overhaul. They really do. Anime industry, I know people are saying it's too late. Now, anime industry, I don't think it's too late. Anime industry has a shit ton of problems. That they're working on. Kitty, stop it. In terms of like production and all that, like, woke crap is like the last thing on their mind.
So we thought.
No, it really is. There's a lot of other issues going on. I can't discuss them. I am legally bound to not discuss them.
So we do have a guy in the chat here that's interested in something. I'm not sure. But I'm not a mega fan of Gundam. I haven't seen every series, but I've watched most of them. And I understand where I guess because war is bad is your DEI complaint, or maybe the men have long hair. I'm not sure what you think is DEI about Gundam before I would argue Seed. Seed, I have no idea why the Japanese are obsessed with it. I think it's an absolute waste of time and it's hideous. Gundam Jesus, aka Kira, is probably the most useless character in his disco ball laser Gundam. I like, you remember the Buster rifle in Gundam Wing? Like, we thought that was overkill. And then Kira just does this ballerina pirouette in the air, in space rather, and his nuclear-powered Gundam that's banned on Earth just wipes out the entire enemy field, and we're all like, let's put a ton of these things out front of airports. And I don't understand. Yeah, Macross is another one. Another one that's just like that.
It just sounds like what you basically described to me sounds like something straight out of Macross, not cut.
And I do watch Gundam, and if you want to say that Gundam was DEI from the beginning, I have terrible news for you.
It's not.
It was supported by women. If that qualifies as DEI for you, then, well, congratulations. There's a lot of things you're going to hate in life.
He-Man is DEI too, and same with She-Ra. Like,
again,
the thing is, though, is that there's a difference between DEI and, like, naturally diverse. Up until, like, what, 2016 or something like that, like, a lot of the shows that that we saw growing up, those were naturally diverse. There was no quota. Nothing like that. It was all natural creativity. But what we're seeing now in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion, this is forced diversity. This is forced equity. This is forced inclusivity. And it destroys creativity. That's the difference. And I think people are taking it the wrong... That's really irritates me that people are taking it the wrong way. Right, kitties? Right, kitty? Oh.
Well, and I have to stress this, when Turn A Gundam came out, Toriyama's goal was not to present diversity, equity, and inclusion. He did not sit down and say, there are no black pilots, there are no transsexual pilots, there are no, what do they call them? Non-binary pilots. What he did is he went out and he created, I honestly think, an acid trip fueled attempt at making Gundam into a god. Like, he legit wanted a Gundam that could control humanity's fate, and in doing so, he didn't feel comfortable slapping a Japanese guy in the seat. And again, it's an acid trip. I don't like Turn A. I think it's a goofy idea. Sid Meier's idea of Mustache Gundam is stupid. But in every franchise, you're going to find a boo-boo. Pokemon's not perfect. Even One Piece has its goofball moments where people grind their teeth getting through it. But Gundam overall has not been DEI. It preaches about the end of war, which I can't say that's a leftist ideal. Who wants their house blown up? Who wants their house blown up? I'm sorry, man. I get it, that it, like, you run into Turn A when you're Googling and you go, whoa, this is DEI, Gundam's completely screwed. And you determine that the entire franchise is that. I get it. Google image search will lie to you. But if you sit down and you go through the series, they're on YouTube right now. Gundam Info has series on there in the original Japanese. So you don't even have to worry about voice actors coming through and pretending that they're the authority. You can go right to the beginning, right to the source material with the accurate Japanese translations because it's provide Gundam Info is based in Japan. So they have Japanese to English right there. It's not through Google. So give it a try. Try it out. The whole franchise is not DEI, I assure you. The Google image search that brought you the Turn A pilot, I don't even remember his name, her name, its name. And also the adversary Gundam in that one is just ridiculous too. It's just a bunch of balls. It's just a bunch of balls. It's Turn X. I don't know. Like I said, it was like an acid trip for Toriyama. I think in the future there will be like whole college courses dedicated to try and understand it.
You can make the argument that a lot of anime and manga are just like total acid trips, to be honest.
Well, Juno Maxwell over on X says female characters act like women in the Good Gundam series, Wing 0079, G Gundam. Yeah, and you got
that women act like women, and they're not like you do. Granted, you do have tomboys in
well, you should. It's war.
Manga. Well, yeah, duh. But they still look like women. They don't look like men.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't have like a masculine jaw or anything like that.
They don't look like the Concord characters.
No, they have a feminine physique too. I mean, they look at since you brought up Concord, look at Overwatch. Overwatch still had feminine looking characters too.
Yeah.
In their initial batch. So it's like when people bring
and then they stopped
Concord,
that.
Then they stopped it, yeah, but it was still in their initial launch, they had feminine character.
I believe we need to go to the World Court and officially launch an investigation into Blizzard about what happened to Tracer's ass. It's been missing, and we need to find that. It might be held hostage in North Korea. Nobody's looking for Tracer's ass. You know that? Nobody's looking for Tracer's ass.
Poor Tracer.
That was evil. That was right up there with that's what Nazis do. Nazis get rid of the booty, And that was evil stuff, man. Stealing, and then they were like, oh, by the way, she's a lesbian, and it's like, not even one. Can't even have one. Damn it.
Well, then the lesbians should be pissed off that they took Tracer's ass. Like, come on.
It's true. Everybody loses here.
Where are you, lesbians? Be all pissed off that Tracer's ass got robbed. I mean, I'm pissed off that JC staff took away Mayura. Oh God, Mayura in 2.5D seduction. They took away her ass. They took away her thighs. They made her boobs smaller. They covered her up. Oh, I am just so furious about that. I know if we show the comparison on here, it would be bad because she's practically naked in the manga. So, but yeah, it's 2.5D seduction has been one hell of a frustrating series to cover in terms of anime on Patreon. It's been very frustrating.
Well, and we've got.
Well, hold on. Let me make this point real quick. What's bad when JC staff censorship is more frustrating than Katrina's localization. That is how bad it is.
So,
anyway,
Mitch Ryan says here, I keep hearing that lesbians aren't attracted to women, only men are, and it's like, it's tough. It's tough to tell because you've got. My best friend is a lesbian in Michigan. She's a Catholic, and she absolutely loves heavy metal, okay? So very upright, very honest, not degenerate citizen, finds this degeneracy very disgusting. And what she can tell me is that when she was dating, she's on her way to getting married now, but not at this moment, but they're on the road. And so what she told me is that when she's dating out there, at speed dating events or going to the bar or even Tinder or any of online dating, because of this stuff right here, this DEI crap, she's running into dudes that have a thicker beard than I do, have a thicker beard than I do. And they're saying, I'm a woman. They're saying, I'm a woman and you have to date me. Or you're a phobe, you're an exophobe or whatever. And so when you say that you keep hearing that lesbians aren't attracted to women, only men are, you kind of have a point, you kind of have a point. So it's pretty rough out there for everybody trying to, get through this DEI stuff. And Kire Runte says, DEI has been around forever, centuries. People are just now noticing it because it's over the top and they no longer are subtle or use universal tropes. And you're right to a degree that we've been on a trajectory toward this extreme event for quite some time. But I would argue that didn't really get underway until about the mid 60s. Around the time that the Love Children got into media, up until that point,
I kind of see where he's going with it, because like before the civil rights movement, you did have quotas, because you could only have like one black person, like only a certain amount of minorities, and they could only be in these specific roles. But then when the civil rights movement happened, that's when it completely changed everything, and that's when more roles opened up, and that's when it wasn't as, when I say inclusive, well, yeah, obviously there's equity and inclusion, but it was a natural progression. It wasn't it wasn't forced. But then what's happened now is we've gotten to a point, and this is what these LARPers have really done, is it's because they're trying to feel like they are so important, they have reversed all the hard work that the civil rights activists have done in the past, and we are regressing back to the pre-civil rights era. And do they realize they're doing it? I don't know.
Kind of feels like it's on purpose.
Part of me feels like it is too.
Yeah. Well, Kira Runte brings this up too. He adds to this. He says, Industrial Revolution was woke when women started invading male spaces. Now, I have to say this, okay? I live in Maine, and this is mostly populated by descendants of the Irish. And back in Ireland, it was very much how it is up here in Maine. If the whole family isn't preparing for winter, you're going to die. If mom, dad, brother, and sister aren't out chopping wood, and they aren't out working the garden, and they aren't out tilling the fields, and they aren't out feeding and milking and making sure that all the animals are content to produce whatever they do, it's not going to get done. And people will starve in the middle of the winter when there aren't these resources to, be bountiful with. So I have to say that not necessarily having women entering male spaces constitutes that, because I live where that's necessary. The only way to survive is that way.
They were also invading male spaces when the men were out, fighting war. Who was going to do it when all the men were gone? So
it's one of those things where you have to ask yourself, like, what do you want to say is the line? I say the line is when we stop paying I say the line is when we stop paying attention to merit. If you are not good at what you do, you should not be in a position to be doing it, especially with people's lives on the line. It's one thing to be a painter and to use menstrual blood to make these paintings about how much you hate your dad. That's perfectly fine to do that. If you want to be an ugly wastoid like Thor was in that movie, the frat Thor, where you sit around and just pick belly lint out and make threats to 12-year-olds on COD, that's an art form in some cases. But you shouldn't, that if you're that person and you're being put into a position of making bridges, maybe not. If you're a person that thinks that a certain group of people who have a certain skin color should all be wiped out, maybe you shouldn't be a teacher, But DEI defies that and says, on the other end, you're bad at what you do and you hate this group of people, so we're going to give you a job. So you're going to fail at that job because you hate these people, and you can blame it on them. And ta-da, here we are. And that's where I draw the line, is when you put people that don't belong in a space in there. If you have when you dismiss a group of oil rig workers and then you move in a bunch of cheerleaders, that's DEI. But if you have a group of oil riggers and there's one lady on the team and she is built for it, like she is 6'4" and as broad-shouldered as the boys, maybe shaves along with them in the morning, she's not going to be any dead weight on the process. And that, I don't think that is DEI. That's merit-based. My mother was one of the first road foremen in Maine, and the roads that she built are still, they had to be resurfaced because they were built in the 80s. And then, but they're there. The roads she built with my father are like that. They ran a paving company together, and she knew what she was doing. It wasn't that you're pretty lady, you come to work with me, you do dangerous job, men die, whatever, you pretty. That's not how that works. You know, that's DEI is when you start moving people in just because you want to have them around. Like we've heard time and time again, like through the where did that whole Funimation? That's right, Funimation. We heard over and over Funimation was installing friends into positions, not talent.
Well, it's still happening with the problem with the voice acting industry, the English dub voice acting industry in particular, is that they are doing race-based casting. That's a huge problem. It's not, and well, I should just say the English voice acting industry, it's become more race-based casting than by merit. Or in the case of like movies, it's become celebs. It's all about celebs more than it's about actual voice acting. It's just a huge clusterfuck. And now voice actors are starting to realize, and I've been saying it for a long time, voice actors are at the bottom of the totem pole and SAG-AFTRA. They never have given a fuck about them. And now they're starting to see it. And I just think it's absolutely hilarious.
The best thing these people could do is actually come together, form their own company, so we all know who not to hire. That would make it so much easier.
Well, it'd be nice if they could just get rid of the racist casters for one thing, because they're the ones causing the problems.
Well, you remember we found out that Chris Sabat had to have his way with the Gohan voice actor in order to get her to get a job. We found that out that he ran up one side of her and down the other. And wasn't that why Linda What's-Her-Face, the voice of Frieza, backed out?
Why Linda Young quit? I think so.
Because Chris was too on it. You know?
I think that might have been why. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
Lots of reasons, but you know, and that's too bad too. But that's what's going on over at Bandai. So it's official now. However you feel about the past, it is now real deal official. That's what's going on out there.
The timing of it was just so perfect because the same day, like we found out about this situation, or within 24 hours of finding out about the situation, we got the announcement that Blue Protocol, which has not come out in the West, it was preparing to come out in the West, got canceled. And speaking of Damon Mills is still he still has his accusations of being, a pedo. But unlike Vic Mignogna, he's still allowed to go to conventions, which is a load of bullshit, if you ask me.
Well, he's going to save Vic in the end. He is not going to have this stink on him when all them burn down. And it's coming because you can feel it. Disney's recoiling. And that just think about that for a minute. Disney is recoiling. They're going back to sequels as opposed to experimenting with all these new concepts that don't go anywhere, or mostly new concepts that don't go anywhere.
Pixar's experimenting. I think Disney's finally realizing that Pixar should be experimenting again and leaving them alone. That's what it feels like to me, to an extent.
Different kinds of experimenting, I guess. But,
yeah. Well, I mean, like they saw what they saw with Inside Out, what Inside Out 2 did, and they're letting them do like their own kind of thing with a spin-off, and then going from there. And they're doing I think they're doing like a couple more original movies too. But I'm hoping I really hope this means Disney's just going to let Pixar do its own thing after everything else, everything's said and done, because that's what people want, are Pixar original movies.
So you brought up the
Blue Protocol,
my goodness.
Yeah.
Blue Protocol. I'm sorry, I wanted to call it Code Blue, but I knew that wasn't right. So yeah, walk me through this. I had no idea this game existed to begin with, and apparently it was with Amazon Games?
Yeah, it was with Amazon Games. It wasn't doing well in Japan, apparently, and I found out about this I found out about this last night, and I was just dying. But yeah, it's shutting down in January. And what's interesting is this is the second Bandai live game to shut down within 2 years, because we had the Gundam online game shut down.
Breaker, right?
Yeah, and then this one is shutting down. So it's very interesting, the timing of all this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like they are trying to make an excuse for all of these failures by embracing DEI and saying, I meant to do that the whole time, you see. But Blue Protocol is a little interesting. This is the one that Miura was referencing
Yes.
about not having black hairstyles, right? Is that it?
Yes. This was the
Why
one.
would that be a problem?
I don't
What's the problem?
know.
I don't understand. Like anybody here is going to look really strange with a flat top or the Zoomer Miles Morales haircut. What's the I don't know.
It's
I
so
don't know what the
weird.
goal is here. But these characters look perfectly fine. What was the problem with Blue Protocol? What's going
I
on?
don't know. It's weird. Like I think if I remember correctly, I heard it got really, there was bugs and all that stuff too.
Ah, that's it. It just didn't
But
perform well.
it wasn't performing well. But that's the story of Bandai Namco's games anyways. It gets very buggy. They're all buggy.
Name of the game. But so
Not as
that's what
buggy as Star Wars
happened.
Outlaws, but
So that's what happened is that as of January 18th next year, they're going to shut down the online services for Blue Protocol.
and that's before it hits the global, before it got its global release, which I just find it so hilarious because they're, the whole thing was they were trying to expand to the global market, which is understandable what they're trying to do. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, do you not realize why people like playing Japanese games so much? It's not because of diversity. No, it's because we want to play Japanese games. We don't want to play like Japanese American style games. No, we just want to play Japanese games. That's all I want. I don't understand how hard this is.
Well, you got to understand, like, I learned this a long time ago. When I was growing up, my family had a limousine transportation company. You could rent a limousine for your wedding, prom, whatever. And so for me, limousines were not magical. They were utility vehicles that earned money and had to be cleaned, before they went out to work, so that was my job. And so these were not special to me in any way, shape, or form. But when people found out that I had them, my family had them in their possession, they would just melt. Oh, what's it like having a limo? Blah blah blah. And
Oh
so
yes,
in
I know that
Japan,
too.
it probably is kind of getting a little old. And so that's why a lot of them might be embracing. A lot of these corporations might be embracing these DEI protocols, is because they are fresh concepts to them. Whereas over here in the West, they're not, because they've kind of existed alongside us all along.
I feel like, and I understand where you're coming from with the limousines because my friend had her parents, or no, her dad was a limo driver, so I got to ride in his limo to school a few times, and my friends were all jealous, so I know what that's like. But but yeah, I see what you're, yeah, I get what you're saying in regards to that. That but you know what else? Now I remember what I was gonna say. It's kind of like with NFTs because they're doing NFTs in Japan now, despite it crashing,
Yep.
and they're thinking it's something shiny and new. They're like totally, but it's Japan and Asia in general in terms of like streaming and all that. They've been behind in general, so like it kind of makes sense for the course if you think about it. I mean, they still have broadcast TV for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, on low frequencies, so their radios are all screwy too. I learned that when I was trying to import a K truck. Really interesting situation over there. But speaking of interesting situations, we have Honkai Star Rail's drama going on.
Oh God, you just when you thought the Genshin Impact situation couldn't get any weirder. So first of all, you got Genshin Impact / Hoyo versus Boycott like failing beautifully.
Mm.
that change.org petition has not gotten that many more signatures since the last time I checked.
Well, it's like a city block in China. It's like two buildings, that 100,000 signatures. Who cares what the 100,000 of those signatures? Wait till you see the change.org petition we have tonight, folks. My goodness, it is spectacular.
The stupidity for the Acolyte. Oh my God! If you're following me on Twitter, I've been documenting the Acolyte's petition since it was like at 6,000 signatures, I believe. and the comments from there are so stupid.
I previewed a little bit of it, so I knew what to show when we got started here, and my goodness, it is beautiful. But
It is
back
so
to the
stupid.
back
But
to Honkai Star Rail.
But similar to what we saw with Genshin Impact, yeah, this character here is a rapper, and because this character is a rapper, similar to what we saw with Genshin, yeah, the racists are like, oh, why is she white? Why isn't she black? And apparently the English voice actor is black, and I saw one comment where they were like, well, yeah, the English voice actor is black. Why isn't the character black? What? Like,
Well,
this is
you
so
were
ridiculous.
well, you remember that Korean kid with the really deep voice. He's probably older than me. That Korean guy, the really pudgy Korean guy with a really deep
Yes.
voice. He
Yes.
complained that there weren't like racial castings, and now they got him. He doesn't get any work. Wouldn't you know? There's not a lot of deep voice Korean voice acting work available out there.
Yeah.
And also, the voice actor for Samurai Jack complained about it, only to have that thrown back into his face like, dude, you voiced a Japanese guy. It's like your most popular role. What are you talking about? And, yeah, they got Prozeed. Yeah, Prozeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got Prozeed, all right. He got Prozeed, definitely. Which is sad, because he has a great voice, but as usual, this is what I tell people. Don't meet your heroes. I had to learn this when I found out who Andros, the guy, Andros in Power Rangers, we'll get to that too. Power Rangers is played by Christopher something or other, and that guy, not exactly the pinnacle of heroism that he was in the television show about transforming heroes wearing brightly colored spandex, wouldn't you know? And when I found out about his real life, I was really crestfallen, because that guy, the character he portrayed, I kind of have a 1-to-1 ratio with that character in my life. I don't transform into a Power Ranger yet. Okay, I'm working on it. But I have a pretty similar backstory. And so when I finally found out about this guy through a friend of mine who's like a event booker for him, found out he's a little shady. It was really rough. And so that's what I have to say about these people that think voice actors, they get kind of a rough end of it. A lot of them in the West are dicks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you find out that they're not getting work, it's usually because of their own hand. It's, you get the case of Vic Mignogna where he actually played a game he probably shouldn't have played and ended up paying price for it because it was a little more innocent than others. But then you get like people like Prozeed who asked for the punishment he's getting. Okay, usually they're dicks.
Prophecy.
Yeah, usually they're dicks. So, yep. But that's that. So we're back here with this voice actors complaining about skin colors.
Well, it's not a voice actor. It's idiot children complaining about skin colors, because that's what it usually is with this, compared to the Acolyte, which is a bunch of idiot adults complaining about YouTubers and bigots.
Right.
Dude, God. The Acolyte people are just insane, but yeah. But yeah, these people, like, it's the usual, why is she white? Hoyo versus racist. But yeah, this is the character. She's cute. She looks. People are comparing her to like Mori Kalopi, the VTuber, and her design is real. I think her design is cute the way it is.
FLCL girl.
Yeah, the girl from Fooly Cooly. Yeah.
Yeah.
She kind of looks like her too. She actually kind of looks like
Unit 2, number 2, 02, 02.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say she kind of looks like oh my god, I had it on the top of my head for a second. Oh damn it, I totally forgot. Damn it. But anyways, yeah, she's really, really adorable. But yeah, you have the typical fix-it artist here that, of course, blackwashed her, and I can't stand them. I can't stand these fix-it artists.
Is that in the replies here? Or?
Yeah, there's some in the QRTs, and I think there's one in the replies, but they're mostly in the QRTs.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, per usual. There are probably more now. Y'all want to know.
What the hell?
See, I told you these people are so stupid.
White at the top.
Oh god, people probably wanted Megan Thee Stallion too. Oh God. See,
Ah,
there it
there we
is. There's
go.
one of them. They did two. Hey,
So
it's a 2-for-1.
once again, only black people can be associated with hip hop, and that's porn. But
There's
with hip hop and
Kimberly.
rap,
Well, Kimberly from
yep.
Street Fighter is different though. She's actually black.
I got that reference. That's funny. But
There's a
yeah,
Japanese voice actress for her.
yeah, and once again, what's the problem? We're just bent out of shape over nothing. And there's fan art. There you go. Alrighty.
See,
Oh no,
there's
that's
a
Sakura.
difference.
Wait, no, that's Sakura. That's not. It's pretty close though.
She
Wow.
does look like Sakura, actually. She
Yeah.
totally does. I can see
Did somebody rip off that fan art? Maybe that's pretty close. That's pretty close.
It's close.
Oh wait, no, that's real. Kishimoto drew this? Oh, wow, he must have been really horny when he drew this. Holy cow. Whoa.
Wow.
It was for Boruto even, so that's MILF Sakura out there. Whoa,
Oh, that might
cougar
not be Kishimoto.
Sakura.
No, that is Kishimoto. It's not Ikamoto.
It's Bandai. It's Bandai
I was thinking
Namco. It's trademarked. It's
No,
copyright
it says
mark.
Kishimoto. I was like thinking, but it says Boruto. That's why I'm like, is it Ikamoto that did it? Ikamoto draws the Boruto stuff.
Yeah, well, it's great, but it's very confusing that it's official. That's all. I'm like, wow, that's you definitely would not get that in the West. You absolutely would not get that in the West. That is too horny on Maine right there. That's yeah, you mad lad. Right, and she's in her 30s in this, okay? That's whoa. Can you send me that?
Damn, Sakura looks really hot. Is right though.
Well, it's not fan art.
It's not though. It's official art.
It's official. You can see it right down in the corner. Let me pop it open in a different window here. I'm just absolutely beside myself.
I love the outfit though. The outfit's hot.
That is amazing. That's real. Wow. So here it is. There, right there. All rights reserved. Copyright. Bandai Namco Entertainment.
Yeah, it doesn't say Ikamoto either.
Kishimoto.
So maybe
Boruto.
it is Kishimoto.
This is crazy.
I'm surprised that it wasn't Ikamoto that drew it because he does the Boruto art. And he would totally do something this horny. Let's be real. Damn,
that
Kishimoto.
Is amazing.
But
yeah,
it does look like her. I didn't think it would look like her.
I don't know. Maybe Kishimoto's going to be sending a cease and desist order over to Honkai Star Rail. Like, give me back my pink-haired MILF. Oh, look, they match. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, but
you're not back in the other tab. But yeah, there's a few of them. That other ones are so stupid. Oh my god, these people are dumb. But yeah, you haven't gotten to the one about the voice actor either. The voice actress for the English dub is like, she's as I said, she's black, so that's why people are another reason why people are pissed off, as I said earlier. But yeah, she's adorable. I don't know.
Oh well, you know, they're gonna complain. Got to find something to complain about, right? They've got to find something to be mad about.
I'm telling you, these people are racist.
Truthfully,
the Acolyte Sims, you'll do that later, Cider. But
we're waiting on Jacob.
The Acolyte Sims out racist the Genshin / Hoyoverse racist.
Well, they're young. They're young racists. Yeah, they're racistlings. They're haterlings. There we go. They're haterlings. They're haterlings. They're learning.
Haterlings.
Right.
Oh god, that's just bad.
From their butthurt masters.
Their butthurt masters.
The butthurt knights, you know.
Oh god, not butthurt knights. Oh jeez.
That might be a compliment to some of them. That might be on their business card, you know. So.
Oh god. But yeah, something that happened over at Anime NYC, and I sent the link to Cider. But this was controversial over the week. Was Stop Hibari-Kun. There was an announcement. First, it was on Manga Magura, and for those of you that don't know about Stop Hibari-Kun, Stop Hibari-Kun is one of the old school, like a Tokonoko crossdresser series. And Manga Magura originally posted a tweet about, Hibari being a trans protagonist. And I was like, wait a minute, Manga Magura will post some dumb tweets sometimes from time to time, but usually they post press releases. So I looked into it further, and lo and behold, I found the official press release, and it is the publisher themselves, Piao Studio. They literally trans the character. They said straight up it says Stop Hibari-Kun is one of the OG trans protagonists to lead a manga in this classic romantic comedy from one of Japan's most iconic artists, Hisashi Iguchi. Well, there's one problem with that. Iguchi said multiple times, and then with the most recent being in 2021, that Hibari is not trans. Hibari is a guy. So yeah, that's kind of an issue there. I would say this is worse than what we saw with, I think I Turned My Childhood Friend Into a Girl, which we covered. It was one of our first big stories in 2022. And with that, 7Cs didn't say shit about Europe being trans. Didn't see that. That's why I'm like, this is probably worse. Because they're just being upfront with you about it. Because look at that. It says right here, before I drew this, I hadn't thought up his name, a story, or even a title. The moment I drew this sample, the thought suddenly popped in my head that this is a guy, a very feminine guy. I'll make him the main character of my next manga. He said it right there. He said that this is a guy. He's not trans. And then in the tweet, he says, because he's had to like clarify this like twice, or like, well, that, yeah, the sketchbook, and then we saw in the tweet here, and there's another one too. I have to find it. It says here that he QRT'd someone. He said, well, Hibari-Kun is a boy. And then there's what we saw with the trans activists. The trans activists are just being ridiculous on this. So we've seen like really incredibly stupid things from them in regards to like Rama and Hira is the only one that I've not seen them be so stupid on, and same with oh my god, who was the other one? Oh god, I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
Somebody like that?
There was another character from Subachi, there we go. From Windbreaker. You don't have trans activists being stupid on them. But they're basically using this 2020 French interview, claiming that Iguchi is not only that Iguchi said that Hibari's trans, but that Iguchi is trans too. I was like, wait, what? What? And they're saying that it's because the translator that said this is like an award-winning translator, and it's just, wait, what?
French.
It's like, wait, what? Iguchi straight up said that Hibari is not trans, but now you're gonna try and say that Iguchi is trans? What?
Well, and again, you have Yuna Reginda here in the chat, and he says there's a culture in Japan that guys could be feminine, but still a guy. Yep. Also, there's kabuki theater is another thing.
Exactly.
But the attitude of kabuki theater isn't restricted to the presence of the stage and the makeup. It's often the feminine presentation in Japan is often either comedic, performative, or I would say less of an expression and just more of a comfort thing. It has less to do with them wanting to be women and just simply being comfortable walking around wearing women's clothing and acting like a girl. That's it. It doesn't, there's no, I've spoken with some of them because some of the artists have worked on my projects before, kind of operate under this, and they're guys, they're dudes. They like Gundam, they like dirt bikes, they're into cool cars, heavy metal. They like girls with big boobs. Just for whatever reason, they want to have their hair long and wear pink and wear makeup. It's just a thing. You know, like here in the USA, you got coupon ladies that'll throw coupons at you that are like 6 months old or whatever. Over there, they got people who do that. You know, everybody's got their thing, their attitude about the world. But you know,
But yeah, there's also another thing too. There's a I guess Gucci said in English at another time that that Hibari is not trans too. So yeah, you have a Gucci said in English and in Japanese that Hibari isn't trans, isn't not trans. So
yeah, I come from 4chan. That was my first social media. I am unfortunately very well aware. I arrived on 4chan on
yes,
2006. So I saw a lot of when all of this got started. So yeah, I'm very well aware of what a trap is and what it originally looked like. So
yeah, now I remember the character. Yeah, so it's Tsubaki from Windbreaker and Hira from I think I turned my childhood friend into a girl. Those two are the ones that the trans community, the LGBT community for the most part, in terms of the manga community, there's a consensus that they are not trans, they are cross dressers. Clear consensus. So it's just so weird that you have this here too, where it specifically says that Iguchi has said multiple times, Hibari is not trans. Hibari is a man, a cross-dressing man, and they are in denial. It is the weirdest thing.
well, go on back. You know this. You went to school with these girls that insisted that Troa Barton and Katra Rababa Winner were butt buddies in their Gundam pilot cockpits. They were cockpit buddies, if you will. You know, and we didn't get a gay couple in Gundam until Iron-Blooded Orphans, I want to say, was Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Iron-Blooded Orphans was, I know, had a gay couple.
Yeah.
I don't remember if there was another Gundam that had one.
I don't recall an out full-blown one until you... that's not a pun. But until they get to Iron-Blooded Orphans. I don't even... Were there space lesbians? I don't remember space... I remember those girls in Victory Gundam, but I don't think they were on each other. I think they were a girl squadron. But yeah, Gundam, again, you know, not a lot of that in there, but they're trying. Like we brought up earlier with Turn A and the trans, again, I still don't remember that guy. There's a lot of people that want to interpret that character is trans.
Same where with Rama, again, they're still doing it.
Where that character is feminine presenting as a pilot and only cross dresses once, I think. And that was part of a stealth mission. And that was because the character, he looked particularly feminine with his long hair and I guess with the tapered jaw was more the feminine indicator in anime. Because everybody's got big eyes. I think it's the tapered jaw that does more of it. Because he's not any like tinier than Hiro. He's not any tinier than Kira. So it's not like he was built feminine. He just... That character, again, I think Toriyama was doing acid when he came up with Turn A, so... But we're talking a lot about Gundam tonight, but the reality is out there is, guess what? There is a new Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
Before we get to it, though, we do have a very, very special super chat for Zeno. For $2 Canadian, Scooby-Doo says, "Hi, Zeno."
Say hi, kitty. Say hi, Zeno. They love you, kitties. They love you. They love you, cat. He's like, what?
Put me down. But,
kitties, they love you. Who doesn't love that kitty?
So, if you're not keeping up with the Sonic movies, if you don't have young children, I don't, but I keep up with them because I want to create children's media, so I try to keep up with like what the trends are. Sonic, the movies have been pretty endearing. Not a home run. There's a lot of goofy kind of probably shouldn't have done that in there, but I don't have kids, so I'm sure like little kids and parents of little kids would find that stuff hilarious. Number 3, however, is where it gets nuts. Absolutely nuts. Where, if you didn't know, Keanu Reeves has been confirmed as the voice of Shadow, and if you don't know, Shadow is the evil version of Sonic. Ooh, he's Vegeta to Sonic's Goku, basically, And I am very excited for this because Shadow has always been my favorite of the Sonic characters. Not because he's edgy and weird and just aggressively a Linkin Park music video on loop. He's my favorite character out of the series because he just doesn't give a shit. I love it. He doesn't care. Like, I'm here to save the day. I'm not here to shake your hand, Sonic. I'm here to kill that thing. And I love that about him is he's in, destroys whatever it is, and he's out. He's off in the corner with his arms crossed. I'm too cool to be 12 years old with the rest of you. And it's great. He's the perfect edgy boy. And it's so funny when you've got all these cute little Sonic characters running around. And then you have this guy, just with all of his sharp edges and, the world must be mine. I am the ultimate being.
And speaking of, there's a Shadow the Hedgehog manga coming out on September 13th. It's going to be a monthly series by Imada Yuki. And that's what this is from.
Good. I'm glad. More people need to be exposed to this character absent of Sonic. Not that Sonic is a bad character or whatever, but Shadow, like Vegeta, is constantly like outmatched by the appeal of the blue blur. So Shadow getting his own chance, like Deadpool getting his own chance to stand alone. I'm really excited because that video game, you remember Shadow the Hedgehog, the video game, where he has an AR-15 that you pump. It's a pump action AR.
And he has the gun. I think in the trailer it looks like he has the gun too, doesn't he? I know he has a motorcycle.
The motorcycle. Yeah, that's definitely back. But we do have a $10 super chat here from Daniel. And Daniel says, Johnny Silverhand in a Sonic game sounds good to me. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
But this manga is supposed to be like to coincide with the new Sonic and Shadow adventure game that's coming out.
Yes, that's going to be a great meme when they redraw Shadow slapping Sonic awake and it says, wake up fast guy, we got to prevent the end of the world again. That's going to be great. Shadow Silverhands. Yep, they're going to call him Shadow Silverhands. Johnny Shadow Hands. There it is. Johnny Hedgehog Hands.
Dude, Shadow's going to look so... Then there's the... I know there's like an anime that's coming with the game too, if I remember correctly.
Some of that, yep. And so there's a good chance we're going to see both Super Sonic and Super Shadow, which...
Yeah, that's what I heard too. But no Amy Rose yet. Or Rogue.
Look, hold on. Rouge and Amy can wait because all they do is show up as a distraction. Right now, it's the boys' hour, right? And I am all for it because little boys don't have anything right now. Even Dragon Ball is kind of out the reach of little boys. So like Sonic being like nearly specifically crafted for that 8 to 12 audience, well, I'm 100% behind it. Amy Rose and Rouge can get their own movie where it's a girl power movie. That would be great. Then they can do all the fun girl stuff and not be interrupted with like Idris Elba showing up and like punching Rouge across the face for being perverted.
Sick,
you are too perverted. Nayo punches her out of the movie. Why are your boobies out? Boom. Have you no shame?
Dude, I'd love to see that. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, they're saving it. I can't imagine they've added Shadow and they don't have Rouge. You can't have Shadow without Rouge. She's not his girlfriend. She's like his Tails, but sassier. Yeah. So, she'll
probably show up at the end, like in the end credit scene or something.
Well, there again, or he's rolling around on his motorcycle doing his crazy leaving fire behind him, Back to the Future style.
Well, Maria's there, so it's like,
Yeah.
Rouge has to show up at some point.
Right. And so you'd see him riding down the road with the flaming trail behind him, and then Rouge is sitting on the building watching him. And until the final act, she's just sort of this mysterious bat-themed character with shadowed cleavage.
Oh my
Because
god!
it's a children's movie.
If we get a Batman kind of thing going
Oh yeah,
on
definitely.
for her, like if there's like a Batgirl like situation going on there, you know the Batgirl stands are gonna flip out and be like, "That's our Batgirl."
We can't show it because it's copyright controlled, unfortunately, but there is an excellent, and it's also very perverted, but there is an excellent Game Grumps animated of Shadow versus Sonic and the chaos control mechanism, and it is spectacular. But, you know, again, Neffenthal agrees with you on the Batgirl thing. I think that's what they're agreeing on. It would be neat to have Rouge set up as like the Oracle, kind of like an Oracle character, not in a wheelchair necessarily, but like watching all the Sonic characters and watching Shadow and stuff. And she's communicating through Shadow to Shadow as like some mysterious being, and then reveals she's a bat. And he's like, "You're a bat? That's it? I can't believe I was taking orders from a bat."
Like, but also I love what Jim Carrey is doing by playing both Robotniks. It feels so right. It does.
Well, that's how you know they're going to go for the real story behind Shadow, by bringing the truth of his design through. Not that he was created for Maria. She's sort of a side effect to his creation. He was specifically created for Robotnik. And so, Eggman, rather, for Eggman.
Yeah.
And so that's a really interesting twist. You know, and I like that they're incorporating Shadow's actual history and not just saying that he was some genetic thing that Eggman made that went wrong and then suddenly imprinted on a little girl. You know, I'm glad that they're going the many steps it takes to show you how injured Shadow is, to show you why he acts that way. So, it's good. Yeah, well, they've shown us, they gave us the preview of it. You can't have this scene without the inevitable sad ending of Maria. So,
oh God, I know.
You can't show this
Fans
scene.
are gonna cry. They are gonna lose their minds.
Well, that's just it. You can't show this without showing the end of Maria. There's no way.
Oh man.
So.
And everyone remembers the Maria scene in the anime.
Yep. And I remember the Snap Cube dub version. If you haven't seen it, Snap Cube and I don't know what it's called. It's a Snap Cube Sonic dubs. They're hilarious. One of my favorite lines is Robotnik is they just dub over the video game stuff. They just make up lines on the fly. There's no script. And so you have Eggman, he's facing off against Tails, and it's where Eggman surrenders in one of the, I think it's Sonic Adventure 2 or whatever. And Eggman's like leaving the scene. He isn't captured or whatever. And it just says, "I miss my wife, Tails. I miss my wife a lot." And then the scene ends with Robotnik walking away slowly. Eggman walking away. I love it. I pissed on the moon.
God. We grew up in a very interesting time, didn't we?
Hold on. I think I can.
Do you have it? The clip?
Hold on. I think we can show this part because it's very short. So I'll just. Okay. So here you go. It's a little loud, so I'm going to turn it down, but this is where it is. We're trying to do this without getting like hit. All right. So here we go. You'll have to let us know if we vanish out there. So F's in the chat if the stream disappears. Brace yourselves.
Super laser piss! Except I'm not gonna piss on the earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon! How do you like that, Obama?
How you like that? Oh God, we grew up with like the best freaking frickin' time.
I love the Snapcube dubs. Just they're made by fans of the series, so they're not just like people who love Dragon Ball trying to insert stupid Dragon Ball stuff. They love Sonic. They love all the characters. All of this is done with like all of that fan passion. Love it. I love it. Screw you, Obama. I love it. But yeah, so this is going to be great. Hopefully they incorporate some of that ridiculous nature into it because for goodness sakes, Shadow is an edgy 3-foot tall black and red hedgehog that doesn't run. He has heelys, so he skates really fast. Okay, you can't be serious with that. You can't take that seriously.
No.
So please don't do that. Please make sure that Keanu Reeves is properly tickled before he's sent into the voice booth. Okay, and that'll probably give us a good. I can't. Oh my gosh, there's going to be Shadow Wick. They're going to make all the John Wick posters over with Shadow, like Shadow's head in the middle of all the guns and all that stuff. They're going to do it all.
Oh my god! Then there's
Shadow's
Shadow Matrix.
Yep.
Yes.
He is the one. He's the superior being.
Oh, I hope we get like the red and blue pill kind of stuff too. With the...
Yeah. Did you just take both? Yeah, I did. Because I'm edgy.
Pill? No, the red and the blue pill. One of them will be Sonic, and one of them will be Knuckles.
Right, exactly. I'm not putting either of those in my mouth.
Dude, I hope that Paramount goes so ham with this and like really just goes wild.
Yep.
With this marketing. It will be so amazing. And just imagine what the popcorn buckets are going to be. Like, oh my god. Ugh. There's so much potential for these popcorn buckets. If they go like the cartoon route, and you know what, with the plushies that they have, and they have it be like Sonic or Shadow's head, and they just have the top open up, and it just is that, and that's the popcorn bucket. That'd be simple. But like,
Jacob's here.
Oh, hey Jacob, just in time.
Yeah.
Just in time for what?
To talk about the Acolyte scents.
Yep.
Could we go back to talk about Sonic?
Oh, sure. We can talk about Sonic. Yeah. I'm down for talking about Sonic. Let's talk about Sonic. What do you want to talk about? Did you see the trailer?
I did see the trailer, and it looks pretty good. Look, I really liked the first one. The second one was kind of iffy for me. I think there was a lot of stuff that could have gotten cut out of the second film, but it was still a solid movie for the most part. And now they're going straight into the Shadow the Hedgehog era. You know, I kind of want them to follow the ideology of the games, but it's like, let's just screw Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Just go straight into the was it the Dreamcast era that he was introduced, or I'm talking about the GameCube era? Which one was
it? It was GameCube. It was a Sonic Adventure 2. Was where Shadow first showed up, because Live and Learn was the
yeah. You think they're gonna give him a gun? And they have to.
They have to.
Keanu Reeves is gonna be in this movie. They have to give him a gun. It's like
we were just saying that the fan art is going to be like remaking all of the John Wick posters with Shadow on them, and then remaking all of the Matrix ones. It's going to be great. Oh, they're going to do the Speed one. But it's going to be Amy Rose driving the bus, and Shadow's going to be the Keanu Reeves character.
It's going to be Shadow at Point Break.
Yeah, right. Robotnik's running away, and Shadow. I love it.
Yeah, like the Robotnik's going to be the Riddler for some reason. It's going to be weird.
it's just going to be great. What I adore about what they're doing with this is that they're trying not to take Shadow seriously. At least what I got from the trailer was that he takes himself seriously, not everybody else.
Yeah, I think they learned their lesson like a while ago. Remember when the Shadow the Hedgehog video game came out and got very lukewarm reception, let's put it that way. And yeah, when they tried to do like the super, we're gonna do an edgy version of like Sonic the Hedgehog, people are kind of like lambasted it. I think they learned their lesson then. It's like, yeah, let's not do that. Let's have a little bit of balance here with the character. So hopefully that's the direction that they take Shadow in this one. And I think, I'm not sure if you guys talked about this real quick. I literally just got in from eating dinner, but remember, this whole thing started based on a original design for the Sonic the Hedgehog character that got absolutely just shredded on social media. Like Twitter tore the original design for the Sonic the Hedgehog character to shreds. And instead of The movie character, right? Like, in the film, when it was the very, very first trailer, I believe it was like right before COVID, if I'm not mistaken, too. And it, instead of doing the typical like Disney thing, for example, of just being like, oh, you guys are just a bunch of incels and bigots, you don't know anything good because blah 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 blah. They were like, okay, we hear you, it's not good. You know what? We're gonna fix the design. It's gonna be a lot better, and then we'll release a new trailer for it. And lo and behold, they fixed that design, and people was like, "Oh wow, that's way better." And then guess what happened? Box office success. It's almost as if, you know, like people said, "Hey, you heard our complaints, you made a fix for it, and you made it better. Hats off to you." And then, yeah, we then have gotten what 2 movies now, and now a third one that people are actually generally excited for. And another thing you can tell is that there are people associated with this film who are generally, like, you know, excited about the Sonic franchise. So I'm not sure if we talked about Jim Carrey yet. Jim Carrey basically retired from Hollywood for the most part, right? Like, he really didn't want to be in part of Hollywood anymore. But because of the Sonic the Hedgehog legacy, and knowing that it was something that, you know, let's be honest, more younger audiences are going to appreciate Sonic the Hedgehog, even though the people like us who grew up with the character a long time ago are also going to be into it as well. But he saw it as kind of like, you know, that vehicle of, no, hey, I can do something and not have to worry about, you know, the wellness of my soul of doing like the regular Hollywood thing anymore. So this is really the only thing, a project that he's been associated with really since the last decade. And it seems to be the only one that he's willing to get out of bed for. And you got Idris Elba, who's really excited about portraying Knuckles in the film. You have Keanu Reeves taking a break from John Wick movies to voice his role in this one. So it's like, I think people are, it feels like if the cast is having fun with this movie, that usually translates very well for the movie too. So yeah, I think this is probably going to be one of the few films this year that I'm genuinely looking forward to. So yeah, I hope it's actually going to be pretty solid.
Well, look, and like you pointed out, these people are mostly action stars that you've listed here that are now voicing children's characters, okay? And what I want to point out about that is that Sonic has always been a little different. Now, you can blame that on all the weird porn that gets made about it, but
yeah,
Sonic,
nerdigans.
Sonic out the gate has had a very appealing personality. No matter what kind of shape they put him in, the character being a free-thinking sort of free spirit character that is too cool for school, that kind of freewheeling attitude where I'll make up the rules as I go along kind of guy, it just works. The 90s cool attitude never goes out of style, apparently. And I think that's what chiefly draws a lot of people to this particular movie, is that while this Sonic is very much modeled to be a child that is growing up and discovering his identity, he's still very much that too cool for school, gotta go fast, you know, you don't tell me what to do attitude kind of guy. And I think that works.
It still has like the spirit of like the chili dog eating like Sonic the Hedgehog, which is the one that people adhere to the most.
As opposed to the Sonic.
It has the spirit of Urkel up in there.
A little bit of that. But you've also got the Sonic Frontiers game that just came out that is horribly depressive and just basically mirrors the end of college for most people. That everyone's drained, they've had enough of being around each other, and they want to go experience life without that other person for a while. And that's what the whole story of Sonic Frontiers is. Sonic fights to free his friends, and then his friends say, "Thanks, but I'm just tired of you, man. I'll see you later, Sonic." Even Amy's like, "I gotta live my life, Sonic. You're never gonna put your ring on me." I almost said something else. "You're never gonna put the ring on me. I gotta live my life. I'm gonna go see the world." And it's so depressing. So depressing. And it's like, that's not Sonic. Sonic is not here to remind you that you're getting old. Sonic is here to remind you that you gotta go fast, man.
Yep. And it's weird because I think this is probably the best representation of like the 3D Sonic that we're going to get. This is coming from someone who actually liked Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which is, you show some of the screenshots for now, and I think that's probably the best 3D Sonic game that they've done. And you notice like over the recent years they've tried to go back to the 2D model, because it seems like the only true success they've had in the video games is with a 2D Sonic character, which is always like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So yeah, I said, I think that there's a lot good going forward with this movie that is working out very well, and I think Paramount, especially since they're in a position now where, let's be honest, they can't afford to lose much money. I think they're in a position right now to be like, hey, keep your stupid opinions to yourself, focus on this movie, and I swear to God, if you do anything to screw this up, we will pipe bomb your house in Minecraft.
Well, and that's just it. Is clearly they care. Just stop and just for a second and appreciate what you're looking at here.
Mm-hmm.
You, in your 30s, are looking at Sonic and Shadow, voiced by multi-million-dollar actors, award-winning actors that have performed in movies that defined a generation. Okay? Voicing these blue and black hedgehogs that run and skate really fast. And
Or drive
that's-
motorcycles.
occasionally drives motorcycles. And that's because it's badass, He doesn't have to. He does because it's badass. But this is what you're dealing with. And I have to say that this is the state of Hollywood, where the only time that these actors are legitimately doing any craft that pushes them outside of where their comfort zone is children's media.
It's sad.
I think it's cool. Because that means you're going to get a lot of cool children's media that'll lift the bar for adult media.
That's true.
That's the problem. You got a
In
bunch of stuff that's plastic.
Hollywood is such a just a corrupted place, because when you look at the box office receipts, it's pretty apparent to everyone that their bread and butter is family movies, right? I think the #1 movie this year is Inside Out 2, which is probably made $1.5 billion up to this point. It's always the family content that gets people out into the theaters and into engaging into this industry. Yet at the same token, culturally, the industry is so anti-family that their political views of the family has completely bitten off who their target audience actually is. And we're in this weird position now where it's oh yeah, family movies, let's make more of those and make money. It's oh no, we spent the last 20 years gaslighting people into thinking that families are bad and you can wait to have a family, and then, oh my God, there's no families now, how are we gonna make money? It's almost what is one of those God, what's the word? I'm trying to say the word without just going off on a complete profane rant tangent, but it's these people seem to have no idea who their target audience is or really what they're doing on a fundamental level.
Courtesy of Leslie Tarkin, we have Matrix Shadow, Neo Shadow, maybe.
The one Shadow.
Yeah, the ultimate being. Yep, he's learning. What he's learning is probably Linkin Park lyrics, but he's learning.
Crawling in my skin.
Speaking of crawling in my skin, we should probably get 01 started so we can talk about the Acolyte, because Amanda Sandberg is definitely crawling in her skin.
Is that show still a thing? I thought we were just doing the Tokyo. Oh no, yeah, let's go. We'll do the show.
Every step I take, reclaiming what's my right. Believe in me, I'll fight forever. Believe in me, love is all I need to break through to our destiny. Believe in me, I'll fight forever. Believe in me, love is all I need to break through to our destiny.
Oh no, guys! The Star Wars victims are back. Everyone hide! Ah.
RV is out in full force, and so far they've only gotten 56,000 signatures, but will it be enough to bring back a season 2? Probably not.
They lost $200 million on Concord. $200 million. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Then there's Dustborn, too.
Yeah.
Or I should be saying Mean Girl Simulator. That feels right.
Mean Girl Simulator, yeah.
That's what it is. It literally is Mean Girl Simulator. Before I saw the stuff about...
Psychopath Simulator, maybe?
No, well, maybe. But when I saw the stuff...
Hacker Fan Simulator?
Before I saw the bully and normalize...
Yep.
Options or whatnot, and I just saw the cancel. Like, I read the description, I'm like, dude, that's basically just cyberbullying. I saw the bully and normalize. I'm like, oh my god, they really are trying to normalize cyberbullying.
Well, Leslie Tarkin has a great little poem here. It says, a failure of one, the failure of two, the failure of Disney.
When our powers combine, we are Captain Planet.
Oh, yeah. Captain Planet, all right. Captain Planet Ego, that's for sure. We have Amanda Stanberg here with her.
It's already a wall of text. I haven't even read the first sentence yet.
Yeah, but she has a video.
We're not.
God.
We're not gonna.
Oh, it's 8.5 minutes long. Oh God.
I hope you're comfortable.
It's like, please just give me a Cliff Notes version. Like, white people bad, show cancel. Like, I don't want. Please, for the love of God, please.
All right, so here we go. You ready?
Oh boy.
Right. Brace yourself. She's doing her hair at the same time, so you know it's going to be sassy.
However, I feel... Okay.
It's not even your hair.
Okay.
One more time. Hi.
I thought I would get on here and just speak candidly.
Yeah, because you haven't spoken enough in the last several months.
Right. I'm just in the back of my mind. I'm like, all right, smoke alarm beep when.
Oh my God. I swear to God, if that thing beeps, we're ending this video immediately. It's over. It's over.
We can hear everything in that room, so you're definitely going to hear it.
Oh my God.
I hate doing this, but I'm going to do it.
No, you don't hate it at all, dear.
Yeah, you do not hate attention. Please stop.
I don't use social media very much.
Okay.
Anymore.
Fuck you,
and I'm so happy about that. But there are many folks out there that I want to acknowledge, and I want to
acknowledge me as your tribal chief.
And love and support for. So that's why I'm hopping on here to talk about this, which is that our Star Wars show has been canceled.
It's confirmed. It is canceled. Thank
God. I mean, no.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Oscar, John.
Oh no.
And I'm gonna be transparent and say that it's not a huge shock for me.
I wonder why.
So hold on. Now I know we made some jokes there, but listen to what she said. The Star Wars show has been canceled. And it's not a shock to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, but why?
Of course, I live in the bubble of my own reality. But
oh, okay. So Hollywood's a bubble. Good.
Hey, you're the first honest person I've heard from that town, so I'll give you at least a little bit of credit there. You are, in fact, in a bubble.
But for those who aren't aware, there has been a rampage of vitriol that we have faced.
You're right. Just full on stampede of hatred all through social media.
Since the show was even announced. when it was still just a concept and when no one had even seen it.
How do you know you don't like the poo-poo until you eat it? You have to
Yes.
eat the poo-poo to know that it's bad for you. Come on.
It's basically like someone just spread their butt cheeks on your dinner table and right before they start the crap. You're like, hey, what the hell are you doing? What is this shit? It's like, how do you know it's shit? It hasn't even come out yet.
Bigot.
And that's when we started experiencing a rampage.
Rampage. There were giant apes crawling up the side of the buildings at Disney, punching holes into the side of it, just constantly. And they kept shouting geeks and gamers while they did it. MAGA.
I would say
Yes.
hyper conservative.
They're the same people who beat up Jussie Smollett as well.
That's right.
They've just been going around.
This is Lucas country.
Bigotry and vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and
Just use all the buzzwords, Heavy. All the buzzwords you could think of in that tiny little brain of yours. Bring them all out.
She's probably got a list of them right there. That's why she kept choking her smartphone to get it upright.
language towards us. And this really affected me when I first got the job.
Yeah, we saw. You did your little dance and
You did your
it didn't-
rap.
Yeah, rap. Oh boy.
I like to call it spoken word. Thank you very much.
At least she was the right skin color to be doing it, right? According to
Yeah.
the Genshin kid, those Honkai Rail kids.
Because it's just not something, even though I anticipated it happening, it's not something you can fully understand what it feels like until it's happening to you.
You mean like every day being told that because of your skin color, you're the single source of all evil on Earth, and because you stand up to pee, you're also the single source of all oppression to peoples on Earth? You mean like that? Like every single damn day of your life since you were born? You mean like that, Amandla? Like that?
You would think a African American would understand that. At least know 50% of it.
African? Oh my god.
However, I feel like I've kind of moved through those feelings in various ways, including
Lots of drugs. Lots of drugs.
Lots of copium.
Right, lots of copium. Leslie says, Amandla is speaking on Jacob's behalf. He should feel represented.
Do you feel represented, Cat? Is that why you're meowing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I think the Daily Cammy already slam dunked what this video is going to be all about. The bottom line is nothing is her fault, ever.
Let me tell you about who's really to blame.
including being vocal about it myself.
You know you're going to get the truth out of a woman when she's doing her hair and not making eye contact and talking to you. That's 100% the truth.
That is peak Patrick Bateman behavior right there.
For me, it just became a situation where there was no option but for me to honor my sense of ethics and my belief system and my value system while being in this very unique position. It was
Whatever
kind
the
of like
hell that means.
I had this very
Oh, Kamala's speechwriter must have come. Oh, look at that face.
Oh, there's a screenshot for you.
Yeah. Hold on.
That's somebody's
Yoink.
toe curling O face right there.
unique experience of experiencing the world.
Unique experience of experiencing the world in an experiency kind of experience. Experiencingly.
How can you experience the world that the world isn't real? Doom doom.
It's the Matrix. That's Shadow.
Which is, of course, hyper divisive right now. Through the lens of this very
Ah! Little
She
muscle
knows she's
memory
full of
there.
shit. She knows. She knows she's full of shit. That
I don't know.
laugh.
She's doing a little muscle memory there. Little muscle memory there. Leave Amanda alone. That Britney kid. Yeah, that was a man.
Yeah,
That was a
fully
man.
grown gay man.
very unique opportunity of being in Star Wars. And it brought up a lot for me, socio-political dynamics.
Oh, she's using her little girl voice. Do you hear it? She's
Yeah.
shrinking her voice down. so
She's
sounds-
talking. She's talking like her mother's in the other room, and she can't be too loud, or she gets yelled at.
I can't say blowjobs too loud, guys.
A lot about my own value system, how I respond to that kind of hatred.
Guys,
How-
it's late and my mom's asleep. I get in trouble if I wake her up.
Beep.
I move through the world at large. And it just became inarguable for me at a certain point that in order to continue to be myself, I would have to honor my value system by being vocal even within the context
Pause
of
for a second. You couldn't turn your fan off for making this video, or
It's
like
not part
you
of her
not have
value system.
you don't have AC like in your home
Not
apartment
part of her
wherever you
value
live.
system. Nope.
You're on this massive Disney project that the entire world is tripping over themselves to defend right now, and you have no functioning air supply.
No functioning air supply. That's true. There's no
Mhm.
functioning air supply running to her head. That's for
Mhm.
sure. That's for
O2
sure.
levels are low.
Yeah. This is just I'm sorry, I was just looking at the comments in the chat here. I can't wait for her to call us all racist. That's the one that I wanted to talk about. Because she's building up to it. You can hear this. You can't go out and experience the world without experiencing racism and hatred and bias. And you can hear it. It's coming. It's coming.
working for Disney and working within the large massive IP that is Star Wars. On that topic, I just have to say it has been an incredible honor and dream for me to be in this universe.
No, it hasn't. No, it has not.
The lies! The lies!
Your
What?
co-star said that Anakin blew up the Skywalker. If you were anyone that even bothered to watch the prequels, let's just say you didn't bother watching the originals. Let's say you watched the prequels. You'd know that. If you watched the Clone Wars, you would know that. If you watched Ahsoka, you would know that that did not happen. So what the...
You were born in 1998. I highly doubt that Star Wars was in your realm. Even if we're only using the prequels for a reference,
That's true.
like I don't think that's what happened.
I've been dreaming. It's like Leslie Headland said, like, oh, I'm such a huge Star Wars fan, and then this. Yeah, Anakin blew up the Death Star. Yeah, that's what her co-star said. The guy that had the Zoomer haircut there. Yeah, not the overweight Jedi. His like buddy cop buddy that kept picking him up off the ground because he couldn't get up. He was too fat.
It still feels, even though, of course, I'm very sad about the show being canceled.
You look absolutely distraught.
And I'm sad about
Being a bitch? Are you sad at... No, I don't
No,
think
she's
you're sad
not.
about that.
us not being able to give people who are invested into it more, because they'll just feel a lot of levity.
You gotta love all the cuts she has in here. Like, she clearly went on to say something she didn't want to, and then cut it out.
Yeah, it was probably like her PR be like, you better cut that out right now, you bitch.
Enjoy around the fact that I
I'm
got to
Brad.
experience it, and that people loved it. And
Could she look any more like a 12-year-old right now? Like maybe a candy necklace? Is that all we're missing? Like Rugrats playing in the background? I feel like I am listening to some 14-year-old TikToker try to explain the world to me.
Can you be pedo bait at 25 years old? Can somebody look that up? Somebody ask Siri or Google.
Look at that. Like, can you, just blink a couple times. Can you distinguish that from your average Genshin Impact complainer kid? I can't.
No.
I don't think this person has a driver's license.
Our good buddy Trap Queen made a really, really good point earlier today. Remember that old show, Degrassi, The New Generation?
Yes. Unfortunately.
Remember the very first episode of the New Generation show? This is like 2001, where like all the older students come back and they're like teachers at the school now. And canon wise, in the history of the show, they were all supposed to be like in their late 20s at that point of the show, right? And they look like they could have easily passed for 40. This woman is only like a couple of years younger than they were at that point, and she looks like she could literally still be in the Degrassi High School.
Yeah, if not in a Goosebumps episode.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a super chat from Pinochet's Helicopter Tours for $5 big old American dollars. Something to consider. IMF are who dictates, read demand, what countries do. Big corporations are promised to have a seat at the table in the New World Order. And he goes on to add this too. He says, look into Smedley Butler and Businessman's Plot. Okay. Yeah, well, like, she's probably part of that. Don't get me wrong. That's why she acts this way, is she thinks she's going to get a seat at the table and get to tell people what to do.
And that people were so responsive. Did
Did her voice get even, like, higher? Wow.
Usually
Just
people
progr-
lie when that happens.
Yeah, right? Isn't that really weird when they do that? Sounds like Jay Leno.
Mm-hmm.
poured through.
Did I see you at the strip club last Thursday on Park Street?
Different iterations of fan art and
Wow, look at that. It sounds like she's
is
answering your
lying.
question, Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
ship art and fan theories and things that were just so beautiful.
And meanwhile, Manny wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. He's like, okay, bye. I'll see you later. I'll never see you again. Goodbye.
Adios,
Please don't call me.
cabrone.
Yeah, right. The actor that played the Sith guy that she was entangled with. Yeah,
That
she's
they
talking
ship
about
her.
all the shipping and stuff. See, this is the weird thing that happens sometimes with these creeps is that they will get the idea that their relationship in the movie is the relationship they have in real life. Usually it's males that end up with this, but Amandla, listening to her talk about the shipping and the fan art and all that, she clearly wanted a piece of Manny, and he did not hand her.
Yeah,
a
you could
piece.
tell. You could tell she's bitter about it.
Mm-hmm.
And filled my heart.
Hey,
with
I have
joy.
a solution. Have you tried not being a they? Have you
Right.
tried not being a they? Because perhaps if you were like a she and a she her, maybe he'd be a lot more interested. But it's kind of hard to make that sell when you're a they them. It's just a thought.
And dressing like this, like I don't know an adult man that's like, I want to get busy with that character from Goosebumps.
But by the way, we're halfway during this 8.5 minute video. She said literally nothing. Up to
Literally.
this
It's, a
point.
wor- it's basically the equivalent of a salad at like Sweet Tomatoes or Healthy Choice. That's what this is. In
This
terms
is-
of a world
this is
I
size.
don't
verbal-
live in California.
This is verbal waterboarding, is what we're
There it
experiencing right now. This is filibustering. This is what people who filibuster do. You just say a whole bunch of words with no substance whatsoever, and then you just leave like you've actually accomplished something.
Yeah. And on that topic, we'll just leave like we accomplished something. So anyway, over here, the
Oh,
Acolyte,
yes.
renew the Acolyte thing, because she's just going to go on and bloviate. I just got tired of looking at her, that's all. There's only so much Amanda Stenberg I can handle.
Well, if you hit the QRT, I did the 50K signatures too. So if you want to go, if you want to see what 50K looks like, but God,
that's
it's so
okay.
stupid.
But I just wanted to bring up all of this
You
stuff
think
here.
that if there were so many people who were all in for this show, that they would find way more signatures than what they got.
So,
No, there are tons of signatures, but like these are the most delusional ones that I saw on that.
so we're just
that
going to take a
petition.
couple of these, then we're going to jump over and look at the videos on the change.org, okay?
Video.
Yeah, so here we go. I even have an intro for the videos. So if you don't like our little cutaway videos, I'm sorry. I have too much fun. I like making memes, so I guess get used to it or don't. I'm sorry. So Miss Nerdygans, of course, went through and found these lovely little samples from the change.org page we're going to see in a minute. But this person reads, or rather writes, important. Do not let hate-filled propaganda and bots win. Fight against the technological terrorism, paid grifters, and racism. This show is fair.
I'm now a technological terrorist.
That's right, techno-terrorists.
That sounds like a pro wrestling tag team. Technological terrorists.
Right? Exactly. Techno-terrorist is like some 14-year-old's Yahoo Instant Messenger handle back in 2004. No, that's what that is.
No, imagine literally a wrestling tag team called Technological Terrorism, and
Right.
one comes out as like a Viking and one comes out like a futuristic get up, and clearly they have a mix up on what the actual gimmick was supposed to be.
Oh my God, yes!
You could go even crazier. You remember that guy that had the light bright costume in The Running Man?
Yeah.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger. So they're both like that, but the Viking has Christmas lights poking out of his armor, that are blinking odd colors. But anyway, so they say this. The word woke and DEI has turned into code word for anti-black and racism. Renew this series.
Like, not delusional.
And we got this one. We got this one here too. And
This
they
is
write,
delusional.
this show was canceled because of stupid socio-political backlash and not because it wasn't genuinely good.
Sure.
It depicts a lesbian couple and black women with dreadlocks in the position of power.
And that's what makes it good. Like, this is the fundamental problem with our social discourse right now. They think that because space lesbians were in a TV show, that in and of itself makes a show good.
Two things that anti-woke people can't accept. No, I get along fine with dreadlocks. And
We got
black
carpet
women.
munchers and Miss Cleo in our show. That means it's good.
Yeah, you know, I told you guys earlier, my best friend's a lesbian, so it's not like this is anything that like.
Tell her that it's her fault then.
Right, it's
tell
your
her
fault.
tell her that it's her people that has made crap like this and they need to be stopped.
Well, see, she caught the clip on Twitter of them making the babies, and she left the comment, "That's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's not how it works."
I showed that scene to a normie who has no concept of Star Wars or anything of that universe. I just showed them that clip, and they were like, "What the? What is this? Wait, what is this?"
Space lesbians change the world. Yep, there you go. Gay space lesbians from outer space.
They might as well just gone all in and made the ship the size of a scissor, the big giant scissor.
Oh, or the Hitachi wand. That's
Mhm.
right.
That's true.
That company makes a lot of heavy duty stuff, and I'm talking about trucks. It's very bizarre that that's one of the things. Japan's a wild place. Okay, if you don't know, Japan's a wild place. I think the thing that pisses me off the most about this getting canceled is that the cancellation signals that Lucasfilm has caved into the transparently racist backlash this show has received since day one. Holy run-on sentence.
And
Yes. And Disney and Lucasfilm are rightly cast people of color in leading roles. Yeah, it's a little too much. Let's check out the change.org petition, which is at 56,000 things there. Signatures, whatever. And so here's the top supporter voices. As you can see.
Oh my God, you can smell the autism from the screen.
Yeah, this whole change.org smells like salami. It's, yeah. Here we go.
The Acolyte was probably canceled due to low viewership, which is reasonable. It's a reasonable enough.
And end it right there. Thank you very much.
I would ask the powers that be to consider that it had poor viewership because it was hate campaigned and review bombed before it even came out.
There we go.
No, people saw it and they were like, "Oh, this shit sucks," and then no one watched it. That's called cause and effect.
Remember, they bragged to everybody that this was the most watched Disney Plus premiere ever. It kicked Ahsoka's butt and Loki's, okay? And then the next week, it immediately dropped to nearly the bottom of the Nielsen ratings.
Yep.
Renew the Acolyte.
That was not the voice I expected, but I am thoroughly amused that that's the voice that came out
Renew
of
the
that.
Acolyte, or I'm gonna blow up your van.
Exactly. You have to keep the Acolyte going at 50 miles an hour. You understand me? Oh my.
I can smell the cat piss from that.
Look at, there's like a cat scooper on the wall right there. This is the litter box room. All the best thoughts happen when you hang around the poop box.
Yes, I like the Acolyte.
Thank you. That's enough of that.
Yeah.
So there's
Is this
in
a
this
woman?
one.
But is that a woman though, or is that a troon?
Oh, that's right.
50-50.
Those don't look weird anymore when they put them on them now. You can
You press the video, she goes sound like Lawrence Taylor. Be like, ah!
This is James Earl Jones reminding you to renew the Acolyte.
Please renew the Acolyte. There were so many wonderful things about it, from characters to...
It had characters in it, guys. Wonderful things like
wow,
characters.
a TV show had characters.
choreography to...
It had choreography in it.
The storyline.
It had a storyline, guys.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Shows don't have those
That's
anymore.
more than She-Hulk.
Looking at the
It's more than
Sith that
She-Hulk.
we've never seen before. That I would
There's just stuff that she's never seen before. Just stop.
Man, that Sid video would be so.
Why does this woman look like Nerdigan's sister?
Dude, she's too white to be my sister.
I mean, you're pretty pale.
really,
though.
really, really love to have fleshed out and eventually lead to perhaps Sidious and his journey and Darth Plagueis, Chimere. Everyone was just so incredible.
I'm sorry. Every time
Yeah.
I just hear the term Dark Plagueis now, I just audibly laugh. That's how much you've ruined that name.
Yeah, it's not even spooky anymore. It's just some weirdo in a cave jacking off to witch lesbians in space. But the other thing I want to point out is that part of me is like, this is an OnlyFans model that someone was like, no, I don't want you to get naked. I want you to do something worse. I want you to praise the Acolyte.
Here's how I want you to sell your soul this week.
Yeah, right?
Simps, man.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to play the intro for The Sims. Hold on. I'll play the intro for The Sims.
Nothing to lose. Now the lights gone dim, no more playing the fool. Simp on his corner, now they're back to school. Soy boys, what you gonna do when the simp hunters come and they're gonna for you? Soy boys, what you gonna do when the simp hunters come and they're gonna for you?
All simps are innocent until voted guilty by the chat.
That's right. At the end of this, you get to decide if these folks are guilty of being simps or not. So stay tuned. The evidence
so
is being
stupid.
presented. You're welcome. That took me 5 minutes, so appreciate it.
And it's better
Usually
than
these things
any-
are... Yeah,
better than anything the Acolyte put out.
that's true. And I imagine this person is going to tell us why we're wrong about that.
It's really important to have diversity in.
Thank you. It's really important to have
Yay.
diversity. Thank you. I don't know how you have a headset and yet I can still hear your fan across the room. That is impressive.
Many of the stories that are told these days. And just because it may be uncomfortable or
Uncomfortable? What was uncomfortable about the Acolyte? They were on a soundstage, for goodness sakes. Nothing about the Acolyte made me uncomfortable. It just disgusted me that someone put this to film.
new. I remember back when the prequels were first out, everybody bashed them, but now everybody loves them.
I wouldn't go that far. Let's dial it
The
back. just a little
prequels
bit.
actually have something. This does not.
George Lucas.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Hold on now. This guy's got Boba Fett in the background. He might be serious about this. This is the first guy that's actually demonstrated anything related to Star Wars.
I loved this show.
Never mind. Well, oh boy.
Hey, I think I know this guy, or he at least reminds me of like several guys that I've seen before. So
That is an incredibly strange sentence to say.
Me and this guy right here, we would like to take a
Ah, he
moment
even
to
sounds
ask
like him.
Disney to please continue the Acolyte Season 2. It seems like a very small contingent of Imperial spies has infiltrated the Rebel Alliance and trying to keep us from enjoying the content.
Oh, okay. So he's one of those. Oh my gosh! It's Megamind! Holy cow! Look at that!
let's get retarded. Let's get retarded in here.
He knows all the lottery numbers.
Oh my god! I feel like we're gonna hear his voice and we're gonna immediately feel bad.
I hope so. Because otherwise I'm gonna laugh if it's not what I think it's gonna sound like.
The Acolyte probably got canceled because I talked to people.
Okay.
I'm still gonna laugh. But oh hey look, oh man, he's been crying his eyes out. Look at this guy.
Mhm.
Look at him. Look, I blow this up so everybody at home
Be
can,
good.
oh I can, good. Look at this guy.
Look at
He
this
is
simp.
blown out.
He's gonna be the guy be like, hey, look, I don't really care much about this show. I'm just trying to get laid, so I figure if I tell people to go watch this show, that maybe somebody hit me up.
Hey yo, I got that Sidious Riz, yo. I'll stab your friends in front of you, yo.
I want the show back because I think it's got a lot of potential. But I also really want to see the haters and also my friends who hate the show.
So when you're doing math and your friends tell you to stop, probably a good idea to do that. Okay?
Hey,
Your
look, my friends are
trying to help
dicks,
you.
but my friends are a bunch of dicks, and I just want to show the beat back on just to make them angry. So that's really my sole motivation.
Oh my god.
Please, how do I? Okay.
Renew the Acolyte!
Really, I hope aliens find this and they're like, we can't invade. We'll catch a disease. We can't invade in War of the Worlds.
Nah,
Come
they
on,
got
I don't want to
monkeypox
read what you
over
have
there.
to say. I want your stupid videos. Why are you? Why does it keep hiding videos? I see them load up and then they disappear.
Because the platform is crap tier.
Well, it's annoying. I just want to see your stupid little videos where you're so proud.
You know what else is annoying? Star Wars Acolyte.
You see that? It keeps doing it, and then it hides them.
Oh, before I forget,
There we go.
something.
Oh boy.
What's that? What are you forgetting?
Oh, so one of the Acolyte simps posted that the Star Wars Acolyte merch was getting review bombed.
Of course.
First of
That's
all,
illegal
like,
now.
yeah, like this whole made-up word "review bomb," like it's a word that doesn't exist. We literally made it up 5 years ago because people said that Captain Marvel sucked. It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Scooby Doo.
Star reviewed, I should say. Let's go with that.
Scooby Doo brings up a very important question about these Acolyte supporters. Why are they all white? Where is the diversity that they keep talking about? Isn't that interesting?
It's a bunch of Karens, huh?
Man, maybe they love diverse content because that's as close as they want to get to black people.
Maybe.
Hey, so,
Okay. I'm really glad that I didn't say what I was going to say when I first saw that person's face, because yeah, that would have been really bad had I said it afterwards. And put it to you this way, it would have been nice. So yeah.
Whoa!
Dodge that bullet.
Voice, that voice surprised me.
bring the Acolyte back. It was actually the most eventful and interesting and adventurous Star Wars we've had.
So is that a male to female or a
ever.
female to male? Because it kind of sounds like a woman who just started taking testosterone, and just trying to sound more masculine than really. It's
But
hard to
still
tell with
wearing
that
the
one.
spaghetti straps.
It's
I
like
don't
at it's like the second form of like Frieza, but like you can't really tell that in between.
You're right. That is second form freeze.
Oh boy.
Is that Ginger?
I could not mistake that as any other. Look at that bright red face, and then the bright red hair, and then the white neck. Yes, that is one of my kin. Yes.
I loved the Acolyte. Was it perfect? No. But
Thank you.
Thank you. Love it.
I am just really tired.
You should go to sleep, dude. You're in the dark, man. You're like 90%.
Nobody
of the way
forced
to
you
bed.
to make this video. Go to sleep.
Yeah, man. It's dark, dude. Go to sleep. No wonder you're tired, bro.
Like, I keep telling people, like,
You didn't even have the courtesy of turning your camera on. It's like you're not
His
helping.
hand over it. There's like 2 warrants out for that guy, and he's like, I would say I like the Acolyte, but not get arrested for doing that. Speaking of warrants,
Please, Disney, renew the Acolyte. Don't let the minority of people.
don't let those minorities win. You understand? Can't let those minorities win.
Hey Disney, don't let those Vine swingers win. Wait, that's not what I meant to say.
You hate win.
Thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Thanks for your
Bob
contribution.
Iger's like, that was beautiful. Get that man a job.
Bob Iger's like going, holy crap! Is this our fan base? Is who? Ugh.
Is this his wife's little like she shed that he's recording in? Is
Oh
that?
my god.
Honey, it's time for you to record your Please Renew the Acolyte video. Okay, honey.
Hi, I'm Matt, lifelong Star Wars fan. My
It looks like
12-year-old
it.
son and I just watched the.
How do you have a son and your
12-year-old.
personal space looks like that? You have like pink all over the place. What is happening?
Acolyte, and he was not aware of any sort of political issues with the background or anything like that, and he loved it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
I guarantee you he did not.
I'm throwing the red challenge flag on that one right now.
I guarantee you he didn't, because the Wookiee didn't do anything but get stabbed. And he didn't even get stabbed on camera. All right? And he didn't even get stabbed. He just kind of like got belly burned.
I liked it a lot as well. I think.
It's that bad, isn't it, buddy? She's not answering the text anymore, is she?
Is
It's a
she
very
out with
good
her,
show.
Is she out with
It's-
her friend again?
Yeah, she's out with her friend. Yeah. Who doesn't like the Acolyte, by the way?
It's probably better than half of the ones they've made. I don't know. Anyway, Acolyte is good. Please keep it. Please keep making more, and ignore the hate.
Like your wife ignores your texts. Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about that one for a while. Oh, here's another one.
That
in
guy
the
might
dark.
actually need help.
Yeah, right. Somebody needs to hug that guy. Not me, but somebody.
You need a hug more than you need the Acolyte season 2.
Yeah, you need a hug more than an Acolyte. That's true.
Please bring back the Acolyte.
Okay.
Was that a real voice, or did he just like start laughing as he was making the video?
Right. And did he have to go in the dark because he's mid-cry? He like worked himself up and he's like, nah, that's what I'm going to tell everybody. Member of the channel, Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, says, my wife and her boyfriend love the Acolyte. This is adorable. Hey, tell your friends this is what we're watching out here. Share it out, guys, because I don't think you get this content anywhere else in the sphere. I'll tell you what. So let's take it from the top here with Giggles in the Shadows.
Please bring back the Acolyte. I love to watch this show when I paint my nails with my boyfriend. And the fact that it's been canceled is a tragedy. All the haters and misogynists are why the show was ruined. And it's the greatest show that anyone has ever made. Better than The Sopranos.
Better than The Sopranos. You, yes.
Be a troll.
Bravo, Matthew. Bravo.
I see you, troll. I see you, troll.
Is that drug Spencer?
That's Spencer Troll.
You know, he's been away for a little while.
But no, there's been a lot of those troll comments from actual Star Wars fans where they're like, yes, bring it back so we can get more YouTube content.
Yeah, well.
Oh. Speaking of the Manson family.
Angle? Why do they do the low angle, man? Why do they do that? He's got a little paper Yoda.
The Acolyte was really fun and interesting, and I think if it continued, it would probably be considered one of the best Star Wars projects ever made.
I'm not.
Dude, this is way more entertaining than Genshin, let's be real.
This is way more entertaining than the actual show.
Isn't this guy from College Humor? Isn't this Adam, what's his face, from College Humor?
Yeah, remember when College Humor was a thing?
Yeah.
Hello, Disney Plus. All I'm asking is to please renew The Acolyte for a season 2. Give it another chance. Don't listen to the haters.
Are you doing an impression of Linkara?
Mm-hmm.
I love the original
Why,
ideas.
is his boyfriend a tranny
and
too?
I would love to.
You know, those glasses are smeared with something.
More original ideas as well for any Star Wars content. And anyways, don't listen to the haters. Please and just give the Acolyte
Hello, Disney Plus. I kind of somewhat liked the Acolyte, but is it true that if you guys were to like kill me in a mysterious fashion, that because I got the Disney Plus app for this show, that you're just gonna like legally dismiss my lawsuit? Like,
Is this gonna be a South Park situation, like a human Sentai pad situation?
because look, I like Star Wars and all, but I mean, that doesn't give you like the right to kill me. Like,
Right. That'd be great. That'd be great. The video's like, so, you know, I like Star Wars and Acolyte or whatever. Please don't kill me, Disney. I understand you can legally do that now. So if I say I like the Acolyte, you won't kill me, right? Bob Iger can't just come into my room and stab me in the middle of the night, right?
Is there any way I can get a lawyer to rescope my terms of service?
We have the diversity.
There we go.
Diversity has arrived.
Behind me is a couple thousand DVDs, especially martial arts movies, because I collect martial arts movies. I've been in martial arts.
Martial arts. Do you know who martial arts
I was gonna
is?
say, I do not know if I want to know all the movies that are in your collection. I'll just put it that way.
Is it Marsh Arts or Mars Farts? Mars Sharts, rather. Mars Sharts. Is it Marsh Arts or Mars Sharts? Which one, guys?
Artists for over 60 years.
Good.
Acolyte is the best Star Wars vehicles that I've seen.
Well, if it's the only one you've seen, you will be correct. Yeah, here's Joey Fatone over here.
How is it that guy wearing? He's wearing eyeliner, right? He's wearing that stuff that makes your eyelashes poppity, right? Right?
Yeah.
Am I hallucinating, or is he wearing eyeliner? Right? Eyeshadow.
There's a significant number of fruit booties who happen to be fans of the Star Wars Acolyte series. So I don't know if there's a correlation there, but
I can't get the video any bigger. I don't think. Let me see if I shrink the.
Yeah, I don't think it'll let you do it.
Dang it! They know.
No. We definitely need more Acolyte.
Can you get the waterfall or whatever is in the background a little clearer so I can't hear your voice at all? Because like right now I can hear you a little, but if I could just focus on the hot tub behind you on the other side of your camera, that'd be great.
If you could like put your tongue back in your mouth as you speak, that would help too a lot.
Yeah.
It's bigger than just a simple story. There's a bigger canon, bigger picture, and this helps to
And that
reinforce
is
a bigger universe that you're creating. And by stopping it short, and not getting the plague, it's not getting to a lot of the points that we need in the future. It's just unfinished.
I don't care what you had to say there, pal. I was too distracted by whatever your face is. Okay, before we get into that, let's go back over to the chat and see what they've come up with. So Beyond Rad says it's Marsh Fart. Scooby Doosh has it here as Mars Sharts. We've got Leslie Tarkin saying Mars Sharts. He's got thousands of videos about Mars Sharts. How about that? Oh my God, change your batteries, right? Something else. You're probably going to hear it again. These look like people that don't change these things. And they, for some reason, their phone cameras are just picking up the entire environment. I didn't realize that. Like, I guess the Samsungs are just like magic. They don't do that. Do we have people shilling for Acolyte? These people's lives, it's in their DNA to shill for the Acolyte. It's what they were born to do. They just sprang into existence for that.
I would like to see Disney burn another $180 million and go bankrupt.
Yeah.
So someone arrest that man. Arrest him.
Arrest him. Greg.
Yes,
Greg, that's the
video.
Greg is a man that gets it. Thanks, Greg.
Disney is going to assassinate you, and thanks to your terms of service, there's nothing you can do about it.
That's the man who's accepted his death at Disney's contractual hands.
Disney's just going to send him a case of peanut butter.
Oh my God. Kitty, be quiet. Come here.
I'm not explaining it.
Hi, my name is Tommy, and I think they should make Acolyte Season 2, maybe even 3. I really like the...
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3, but I think 3 is pushing it, for being quite honest.
Right. I'm only here for 2 because it might get me laid. Okay, I'm just 3. I don't know. I don't think I can do it.
And I was really excited to see how it could possibly grow and become more episodes.
Okay, all right. I know a lot of people didn't see this because it got canceled because a lot of people didn't watch it. The ending of it quite literally wraps up everything. The only thing that's left to mystery is what happens to the twin girls. Everybody else is either dead or lying about what happened. It's over. There's nothing. Soul is dead. Literally, the guy that would have had anything to progress the story forward with is gone.
Here's what I would do if I was a maniacal genius. I would say, okay, you know what? Fine, we're listening to you. We will give you the Acolyte Season 2 on the sole condition that is directed by Uwe Boll. That is non-negotiable.
No, but they want Star Wars superfan Leslie Headland.
I don't want to read these. Come on, give me more weirdo videos. Let's go.
It's just call them weirdo videos.
Well, they call us weird. We'll call them weird back. Come on.
Well, I mean, they do. And then there are the troll comments that are like, yes, please, burn more money, Disney. Give us more YouTube content.
Yep. I'm surprised Jeremy isn't on here. Oh, here we go. This guy's got rainbow on the roof. Oh, no, wait, no. That is a map of Asia.
Oh, my God. We got a weeb here.
I don't think it's a weeb. That might be a rare Russian appreciator here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm recording. Okay.
Oh, I'm recording. I didn't mean to pledge my allegiance to the Acolyte. I'm sorry.
Please renew Acolyte. It's a great show. The writing was
I am totally telling the truth. That's why I'm looking at the ceiling and trying not to make eye contact with the soulless eye of the camera that can see into my soul.
really well developed. There's intricacies between like moral issues, and there, we fully explore.
There's moral issues in a television production. Wow.
Some themes that Star Wars has not touched before. I'm a longtime fan. I'm 26, 27.
Whoa!
Oh, wow. Look at the elder over here.
A long-time
fan.
Whoa. Guys, we've got a long time. Gary had better step aside, all right?
I was still pooping in my diapers when Attack of the Clones came out. I'm a long-time fan.
Long-time fan. I wasn't even born when Anakin blew up the Death Star, okay?
Yeah. 27.
He doesn't even know how old he is. That's how long he's been in Star Wars. He's forgotten.
1996 birthday. I love the.
What does this have to do with Star Wars?
Like Clone Wars, all of it. I've seen everything.
I grew up with the Clone Wars in daycare.
I'm a massive Star Wars fan. Clone Wars is my favorite movie of all time.
Anakin blew up the Death Star.
How is this more entertaining than all of Disney's Star Wars?
We have an audio one.
Oh boy.
Acolyte was a good show. Deserves a second season. Better than a lot.
That's Eddie Brock. That is Eddie Brock. That son of a.
Shows Disney Plus has dropped in terms of Star Wars, and I definitely support it coming back for a second season because
I'm gonna get him. He did it.
If Sheila, if you're listening to this, please come back. The kids miss you. I just want to say
that other guy that needed a hug, I'll hug him if he'll hug me back.
Storyline ends.
He's gonna cry. This storyline ends. I gotta go. Amazing.
Oh man.
Come on, one more. Oh, thank you. This one looks spectacular. This will be the last one, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on. Don't worry. So here we go.
All right, I'm recording to tell you my brother and I watched Acolyte together, and we enjoy watching very few shows together.
Do we want to see what the brother looks like?
And barely get along sometimes.
What does this have to do with Acolyte?
So what you're saying is that this is the only show that makes you not want to kill each other, and this is why you want the show. Okay, there's more skin in the game in for this woman than some of the others. I get it on this level. So yeah, maybe there's a reason she wants it back.
So please bring back our show. But a shame if you cancel it. It can go in so many different directions. It's really a good show. Thank
Look
that
at
a
that.
threat?
Like, imagine you open your eyes. Right? If you're asleep and you just open your eyes and that is looking you in the face, it just out of the darkness. Like,
Morning sunshine.
Renew the Acolyte. All right, so that's fun and that's over with. But guys, in the best news that could come out recently is the 10th anniversary of Gamergate. That's right. 10 years of techno-terrorism.
I think the only way to truly give this the honor that it deserves, I think we should all bow our heads and give a 10-bell salute to all the lives that were lost on that faithful day of Gamergate. Ding! 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 Ding!
Was that 10?
Ding! 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 Thank you.
Yeah. R.I.P. Gamergate. Welcome back, Gamergate.
There's always that one guy in the crowd when he gets like 9.5, he goes, woo!
Yeah, right. Yeah, Depression Quest has a body count. Yeah.
But that's
So
scary
this-
that all three of the most prominent women have been integrated into modern gaming tech companies.
It's almost like that was their goal, doing that.
Yeah.
Weird. So we all know Anita Sarkeesian. I call her
Well,
Sharky.
Feminine Frequency died, so at least
Yep.
there's that karma.
Femme Freak, as it was popularly known, and also accurately titled. Femme Freak. Yep. And Randy Harper, still chugging on. Zoe Quinn drove a man to death and then got an offer from DC Comics to write Batman and Superman. Gamergate is happened 10 years ago, and the reverberations of it are still happening today. In fact, Gamergate 2.0 appears to be on the rise as we continue to watch the fall of now not only Western gaming, but also the Japanese gaming market. And what anniversary of Gamergate wouldn't be complete without Alyssa Mercante sticking her flat, square, boxy ass into the middle of it? You have Alyssa Mercante threatening to sue Kiwi Farms.
Oh, and the best part
Get
is
in line.
no, the best part is if you scroll down, because I think one of the responses has the lawyer reviews. That lawyer is a piece of shit.
Is that the lawyer?
No, it's further down, I think. There it is, right there. That lawyer is ass.
Oh, the lawyer was not prepared and did very little during the hearing. Then after the hearing, he had an outburst in the waiting room at some of the people sitting there. He was then escorted to the elevator and told to leave. He's very unprofessional. Worst attorney ever. Hired attorney, he did absolutely nothing but charge me for everything. He dropped my case 6 months later without any notice. I had to contact his firm to find out he left. I would never recommend him. His communication was poor and not professional, and when we did speak, if I could give 0 stars, I would. Another lady accomplished in weeks what he couldn't get done in 6 months.
No, you got outshown by a woman.
Dude, this
So there
is
you
the
go.
person that Alyssa Mercante hired to do this.
And so, as usual, that's happening. So I don't know how you guys feel about this. It has been quite a ride with Alyssa Mercante.
It has been a thing that certainly happened with a woman.
Well, I just want to say very carefully that Alyssa Mercante is a bitch. And not in like the I'm a bitch, I'm a love. No, just the like bottom of the barrel. I wouldn't fuck that with another man's dick, bitch.
And
Okay,
somebody else pushing.
Man, it's just a hideous kind of person. Like I got in trouble. Well, I wouldn't say trouble. I got teased a lot when I was growing up because I wasn't into like the bikini babes on the magazines and stuff like that. I liked the girls that we were around in our regular lives because I could look into their eyes and I could see they weren't evil. And I guess that's something my dad taught me. I don't know. But when I look into Alyssa Mercante's eyes, I just see pure, unadulterated evil, anger, hatred, judgment, disgust, misery. It's all just radiating out of her eyes like Superman's heat vision, only it's just depression vision. And that's it. That's all that's in there. And so, once again, inserting herself into the history books. See, this is how people like her get remembered. Otherwise, she'd just be another cam girl that Andrew Tate got arrested for having in his employ. All right? That would be her fate. But because she's decided to insert herself into every corner of controversy, she will find her way into the history books, just like Anita Sarkeesian did.
It's like, okay, look, lady, we get it. You hate your dad. Like, why do I have to get dragged into this now?
Right. Go take it out on him. There's a whole movie series, whole movie genre dedicated to that. Lifetime Movie Network. Check it out. We have Pinochet's helicopter tours. Mercante knows that Kiwi Farms is so 2017, right? Like Social Security literally compromised every SSN out there. But Kiwi Farms, that's the problem. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a victim. You're muted, by the way.
Good. I didn't need anybody to hear me sneezing. I am allergic to bitch. How about that? But the other thing in our celebration of today, and you saw it down in the what are you hitting the like for poll. We'll check on that at the end of the show and find out what you guys are down for. But I have a feeling it's about Power Rangers because today is National Power Rangers Day. That's why the Dragon Zord is giving it to Anita Sarkeesian from behind in the thumbnail. But
stronger than before. Goes
Well, that's all over with. Now because Hasbro has no faith.
You know what we should do? We should start a change.org thing in the signature. Bring back Power Rangers Zero. Specifically Zero. Let's all make videos and get signatures together telling that we demand that they bring back Zero. We don't care that half the cast is dead now. We can digitally replace them with AI because we have no souls. Just bring it back. It's my childhood.
Sure, right? Well, anyway, because Hasbro hasn't made any public declarations about what they're going to do with the brand, Boom is basically exploiting what's left of their license to reboot the Power Rangers franchise from their own little offices. And their plan to do so is to take a female ranger, one that didn't get a very long run as a red, and then basically Spider-Gwen her. She now becomes the central focus of the Power Ranger universe, and every entity out there is trying to destroy her because she is doing things that they don't like. There's no Zordon, and the Altarans are a police force that are hunting her down because she has the ability to shift between Power Ranger powers.
Yay.
No, it's royally stupid because in their confession about this, they said they took inspiration from Ultimate Marvel and Spider-Gwen's story, and specifically how everyone in the Marvel universe and Spider-Gwen's story was in different positions. So they said this that the Jungle Fury Rangers were not going to be expressed in a way you would expect them to be. So my guess is they're brutal killers. They do the Daredevil thing to them that they did in Spider-Gwen's story, where they're the leader of some evil martial arts group rather than being good guys. They're like evil enforcers that are stealing people's, I don't know, scrotums.
Remember when we started this show talking about how Sonic the Hedgehog has done everything right over the last several years? I think you can say the complete opposite about the Power Rangers franchise. Is that a fair assessment of how we got into this point?
I think that is big fair. Yep,
Mhm.
that is big fair.
I mean, is it just me, or it seems like that this whole thing peaked after Forever Red? Was that the peak point, or do you feel like, at least as far as like Power Rangers, I'm not talking about like Super Sentai, but just specifically Power Rangers?
Well, to be in this is part of the morphing sequence. So you know, a woman
Yeah.
with splatters down her fingers.
Oh yay!
So anyway, I think the peak of Power Rangers, in my 100 honest opinion, was Power Rangers Dino Thunder. It's not my favorite, but I believe it was at the series at its extreme best. And it has a lot of problems. Don't get me wrong, it's not my favorite. But Disney was doing everything they possibly could to deliver something that was heart and soul Power Rangers, but also new. Beforehand, their efforts with Ninja Storm had been mixed at best, and Dino Thunder finally cemented what Disney's attitude about the Power Rangers was going to be, is that they were holding on to the Zordon legacy, but they were raising the bar by saying more than Zordon have access to the Morphin Grid, following Lightspeed Rescue's example. So I appreciated that out of it. So I think Dino Thunder was like the top tippity bit of it.
Fair enough. I can see that point. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be like that last, like, I think mainstream pop that this thing really had before it just started churning out. Kind of like I said, it's hard because obviously in Japan, there's a lot more of a cultural aspect to this that just doesn't exist here in the US, because obviously we're more kind of like reactionary in the moment. So it's like people remember like the era of Mighty Morphin and like the feud that preceded it, but stretching it out to like a long like 25, like here, like we don't have the veneration here for Power Rangers in the United States and they do in Japan, and which makes it difficult for them when they're following a Japanese model. And I think I've said the same thing kind of about pro wrestling in a lot of aspects, how you see like a lot of these wrestlers try to emulate kind of the New Japan style of like the presentation and stuff like that. Like it works well in that region, but it doesn't always translate well here to the United States. You can't do kind of a shot for shot like copy and paste. It's just not going to work out very well. And then, as we've seen here, even when they do try to take chances on their own stuff, that doesn't exactly go very well for them either. So,
well, it's because the brand leans itself so hard into the DEI, pillars already. On its face, it is a multiracial, multi-background, multi-driving force group of attitude-driven young people that are privately in their own personal civilian lives dedicated to change. So, it's cultural change. So again, it on its face, it fits very perfectly with what they want to do. And this way, I don't want this to happen, but it always perplexed me why the World Economic Forum never stepped up and just took a hold of Power Rangers and said, this is the example of the world. Like that, it literally checks off all of their boxes. They have the PSA format at the end of the episode. It says, don't forget, kids, eat your bugs, So I don't understand why this didn't, I don't want it to happen, but I don't understand why Klaus Schwab wasn't like, get the power coins.
But that's what Captain Planet was. Captain Planet was exactly what you were describing.
Sort of, but the problem with Captain Planet is that it just didn't evolve. It was only good for 10 episodes, and then after that, the whole, like, they have to stop pollution gimmick was old. There's no threat to people that are the villains there. They're no threat. Whereas the Power Ranger villains were like, we're aliens from space, and we're inexplicably going to focus on this one coastal town. We're going to blow the out of it in the meantime. And that, and then you had like the Planeteers who were like, Dr. Blight is destroying paper in Russia. And kids are like, what? What? Paper? What? Oh, the grocery store. Right, the salt mines in Central Africa are being exploited by Duke Nukem, or whatever his name is there. And kids are like, the what mines? So it's just,
The kids
show-
there are like, is this another reference to Coney 2012? Is that what
Yeah,
we're doing?
right. You know, that's why. Again, like you ask yourself, like, why wasn't there ever a revival of the Planeteers? How come Captain Planet didn't go on and get rebooted over and over and over again like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did? And it's because after 10 episodes, they're out of like shit to do. Like, how many different like chemical spills can you turn into a dire situation? But that's
Like,
just what it
at
is.
some point, that the EPA is going to have to get involved here.
The army's going to be like, hey man, you were literally poisoning water supplies, like on camera. We have you in 4K, you rat-faced weirdo.
I'm going to pour this toxic waste into the lake. All right, get out of here, you little shit. You're like some park ranger.
This man is literally a walking rat. You know?
I was like, he's like, on the ground. I was like, okay.
Yeah, they did an episode about racial black on black gang violence too. Where like they had like freedom songs being sang as they were showing a mural of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King shaking hands.
A bunch of Negro spirituals being played.
That's what was playing. I can't say that, you can, but that's what was playing in the background while they were zooming in on that mural that
It's
never
like,
existed in real life. It was that. And we can't show it because we'll get copyright struck. But Ted Turner was like, he was huffing his own farts through a machine. That machine was just sucking them out and blowing them.
I was surprised that they start singing, jump down, turn around, pick a pound of cotton, jump down, turn
right? With like a snare drum and a drum machine background, you know? Yeah. But yeah, back to this and a little less racism.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. The Power Rangers brand is dead. It's dead. They can revive the aesthetic, but I believe the name Power Rangers and the general formula, the episodic formula, is dead. There's just you can't pursue it like it's 1993 anymore. It's got to grow. It's competing against Dragon Ball Z now.
Mm-hmm. Or Dragon Ball Super. I don't know which one it's on anymore.
Well,
There's
no,
a lot of them.
The way I go about this when I'm creating this stuff is I don't pretend that these kids are only able to absorb what's available on the market created within their lifetimes. I assume that they have access to every last thing available out there, and I'm competing against stuff that's existed for 100 years, you know? Like Superman, you know? And that's how I go about this, is that apparently Hasbro doesn't, obviously, but this is the problem, is that like Power Rangers, the name has been ruined. You can't, I think in the past 5 years in particularly, you can't talk to kids about it. They don't want to talk about Power Rangers anymore. And I grew up with it, and I'd never lived in a time where somebody wasn't like, yeah, I remember that. The kids don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, and it's because we're so disconnected from when this thing was hot, and we haven't carried that over to the new generation like at all. Like we mentioned this a couple years ago when we reviewed that Netflix Power Rangers show, right?
Yeah,
they're still trying to like present to us, like in their minds they're thinking, oh, if we just get most of the original Rangers back, that'll be enough to get nostalgia points back out of this group here. But it's like you're watching like Zach and Billy, who are like in their mid-50s at this point, suit up as Power Rangers, and it's like, guys, like I get it when it was teenagers with attitude, but now it's at a point now where it's just not going to work, especially with the story that was named David Yost tried to set up here. Like that was probably the biggest mistake of this whole thing, was letting him control it. Like who the hell is this dude? Just to create his own lore with Power Rangers.
Scooby Doo says, aren't they making a Toxic Crusaders game or something, which is about environmental cleanup and stuff? I don't know about the game, but I know the movie has yet again been like shelved, even though it's complete and ready to roll.
Well, something that just popped up on Twitter is that for Transformers 40th anniversary, there's a PV, and apparently Studio Trigger might be doing an anime for it.
Which one?
Studio Trigger. Hold on, let me put.
No. What team?
For Transformers.
Oh yeah.
The series, because it's the 40th anniversary. Here, let me send you the link. But yeah, people are going nuts over it, and it looks gorgeous.
Better than Transformers 1, I guarantee you.
I hope it, but something I did see, and this was a leak, 4chan is speaking of Trigger, is that it's rumored if this leak is true, is that Trigger is going to be doing a Cuphead movie. So we don't know if that's true or not. But
That sounds like it's been in developmental hell for like quite some time, though, right?
Yeah.
So-
but that's the rumor anyway.
Before we jump into Transformers, I just want to close out that Power Ranger thing there with saying that right now, Power Rangers Prime is the only thing that's progressing the Power Rangers brand forward. There is nothing else going on. Even the video game, Spencer's confirmed this for me, even the video game, Battle for the Grid, has nothing new happening to it. And it's been over a year since they've done anything with the video game at all. So it's over. It's over. And I would really...
You could say it's never been more over than it is right now.
Well, and, you know, Meteor Advocate Timon says Saban ruined Sentai. And, you know, I don't know about ruined it, but I don't think Saban ruined it. I think what happened is the corporate mentality of the West ruined Power Rangers. I don't think Sentai is in trouble. I think if you rolled up right now with Boon Boonger, the one that's going on right now, if you rolled up with that with subtitles and just pitched it to parents who wanted to teach their kids Japanese, I think it would do pretty well. It's harmless. It's got a few lessons about being kind to women and old men, and other than that, it's just kind of one of those self-discovery stories. So, Sentai itself is fine. American audiences have no problem with Sentai. In fact, somehow it's managed to stay separate from Power Rangers for people who are even new to it, because for Power Rangers, for them, are just the Mighty Morphins. Thanks to how this was done. They don't understand that there was any other team. So when they see a team from Japan, they go, well, who are they? They first think they're Power Rangers, but once you tell them they're not, they're all the way committed, because now they want to know. It's not Power Rangers, but it looks like it. I'm on it. So, speaking of that, with Studio Trigger taking over Transformers, there's a good chance that this will blow the Hasbro offerings completely out of the water. So, we're not going to listen to the audio, because that'll get copyright, so we'll just take a look at the trailer on mute.
Captain Planet, he's the hero. Something, 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 zero.
Trigger rarely takes a lot of projects because everything with Trigger is done in-house, which is what a lot of anime studios are starting to do. Oh God, I really hope that this is true, that Trigger is going to do a Transformers anime. I really hope so.
It looks like it.
It looks so beautiful.
Where's Shia LaBeouf's character, though?
For Shia LaBeouf's character.
You know, that would be funny if Sam Witwicky did show up in the trailer. But this this shot was particularly interesting. You've got this was. Do you remember Transformers Armada?
Yes.
This was Optimus's like tried and true finisher for Megatron, tank Megatron. Every single time they got into a fist fight, was Optimus would be crouched down and he would jump and punch Megatron in the face with like his whole body, and that was like every 4 episodes that exact animation would repeat. And I love that Trigger was like, we saw that, we got it. I love it.
It looks fabulous.
Sure, it's Trigger. They know what they're doing. It's not like it's Disney trying to figure out how to fit cocks on them or something.
Oh, that close-up, though, was just...
Yeah, that's straight out of Gundam, though. That's a Gundam shot. But why not? The Transformers are 2 steps away from being Gundam. People confuse Gundams and Transformers all the time.
At this point, just go for it. Who cares?
Yeah, right. Who's it going to hurt? But,
man, and because if you saw the last Transformers movie, they're teasing now that they're going to bring in G.I. Joe. So you think they're going to try to find some way to squeeze that part in as well? At least,
how about not the Japanese?
Setup.
How about not the Japanese?
I don't think they will. They could, but I don't think they will.
They would do a separate series to test if there was a interest in an audience seeing the Joes in this anime form. Then they would do the crossover. That would probably follow the Skybound structure, to be honest with you. That would the only way Trigger would go with it, is to do the Duke on the Run story that Skybound's got going. So
maybe to get it done.
That I could see. But like if it does go that route, then you know people will be like, oh, then this is just Gundam.
It's true. It's true because when you start, the trouble it really suffers with is that Transformers should not have humans in it at all, not even in the live action stuff. It completely throws the story, and then like the kaiju movies, the humans end up becoming the focus of the movie rather than the cool giant robots that are beating the hell out of each other.
That's why I'm just like, I don't know if it'd be wise to do a G.I. Joe Transformers anime crossover, because it really is already straddling the line of becoming Gundam, especially with Trigger's art style.
They introduce the headmasters and that's over with.
Yeah, that's why it's like, yeah, I don't know.
They could do them both separately. Because again, we saw how successful that Castlevania anime was, or cartoon, I guess. We saw how successful that was. So we know that having this character that is at odds with his allies works well with the Western demographic. So separately, having this tilted story. So you have Optimus being this really great leader, and then you have Duke being this guy that's like, I'm getting it together, guys. You got to believe me, and they don't believe him. So you have like Optimus being in command, and you have Duke being on the run. And I think that would be a good opposite to try and get them to come together. But Nerdigans is right. It borders into too many visual conflicts.
But I would love to see a G.I. Joe anime, though. I think that would be so.
A G.I. Joe Isekai. Come with me on that one. A G.I. Joe Isekai. You got King Cobra now. King Cobra. Cobra La.
Dude, if we had kind of what Suicide Squad Isekai was trying to do with like a Drifters twist, but like have G.I. Joe, where G.I. Joe is fighting on one side of the Isekai kingdom and then Cobra on the other side. That would be actually kind of sick.
You could do two kingdoms fighting each other even, and they recruit the Joes, and one side recruits Cobra.
That's what I mean in terms of the Drifters twist, because that's what Suicide Squad Isekai basically did in a sense. That's what I would love to see. If you were going to do a G.I. Joe Isekai, that is how you would do it. I would love to see a G.I. Joe, if you were going to do a G.I. Joe He-Man crossover Isekai, that would be really
all
sick.
the things. That's something.
If you wanted to go do that route, then you could have He-Man, bring over the G.I. Joes to work with him, and then you can,
Skeletor bring over Cobra.
Bring over the Cobra, and then have both sides fight each other. That would be such an epic crossover.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But you see, we've come up with some excellent ideas here, and you know who didn't come up with excellent ideas? That would be Studio Firewalk when they came up with Concord and took 8 years and $200 million to develop.
You know who else took over 8 years? The Suicide Squad game, Kill the Justice League.
That's right.
You saw how that turned out.
And that's where we're at. Check this out.
Those characters are ugly as hell too. Compare those characters and compare them to the first Overwatch characters, and then you gotta wonder, what the hell? What the hell are we doing here?
Well, you don't have to wonder for too long, because they are pretty obvious about what the problem is that the game factually just doesn't have an audience. There's nobody out there that is in any way interested in this hideous mess of...
No one wants to play as ugly characters. They don't want to play as your ugly characters, Karen. They don't.
Yeah.
You could have all this woke crap in there, but it doesn't work if you don't have sexy characters. It worked for Overwatch to an extent.
And look, here we go. We'll look at it right here. Take a look. That is the characters versus. You have Diva, Mercy, Symmetra, Genji, Reaper, and the guy that got into the sex scandal. And then you've got all of these different nothings. This is a rejected Mortal Kombat character over here in purple on the far right. That's a rejected Mortal Kombat character. The one on the
bottom left, though, the fat character, looks like what one of the new generation of Overwatch characters is.
Yeah. Tubby.
Yeah.
And, it's just, this is the
No,
comparison.
actually,
like,
Cider, this is the best way to describe it. That character is some of these characters are characters that Blizzard would put out to cover up a scandal.
okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like I don't know if you guys caught it down here. We'll zoom in on a bigger picture of it. But we got budget Buzz Lightyear down here. Got an old CRTV kind of carved out here. Some toilet cleaning supplies turned into a jetpack, and what appears to be a hazmat suit and a handyman belt. And then I don't know, Justin Bieber in there. Severed head of Justin Bieber inside of that thing. Anyway, these are the characters of Concord, ladies and gentlemen. These are the characters. Do you want to be a mushroom? You want to be a mushroom?
If it's they, then.
That literally looks like a failed design. Remember that it was that show that was on FX for a while, not FX, Sci-Fi, when they were doing like the monster makeup. So do you know the name of that show?
Face Off.
Face Off. Yeah, that looks like something that would have gotten like 4th place on Face Off.
I could see that.
I do have to take a quick pause here. We do have a question from a member of the chat, Meteor Advocate Timon. He writes, "Is Spencer alive?"
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah.
Got hammered in the ass, then died.
That's not how I heard it, but he is out of the U.S. at the moment. He's on personal family stuff, and he'll be back at the beginning of September. I hope you can deal with us in the meantime. We are a little rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah,
I like
so
my
that's
explanation better than the.
Yeah. He's dead. He did.
He was
I tell you, he did.
Well, he was captured by a rabid tribe of Asian
North
lady boys.
Koreans.
Let's go with that.
That's right. He's been captured by North Koreans. But yeah, so if you want to be a mushroom, they've got that. They've got rejected grandma Mortal Kombat character.
We got another fatty, or I'm sorry, another self-insert.
Well, this is the thing is that like I'm up in Maine, okay? And so what happens is that up here we have wood fire ovens from the ye olde times. And those are still in people's like houses as antiques. They show them off. But what you do is like this would like General Electric style companies would put these out. Not General Electric, obviously, because it's not electric, but like very prestigious companies. So these would have very nice like chrome sculpting on them. They would have like that olive paint on them, like those ye olde refrigerators that you put the big old ice block in, rather than having it plugged into the wall, and had a handle that you could murder a man with. But the this looks like one of those ovens pounded into armor. So I've been calling her the Ovenator. This has been the Ovenator going around in their game. And then we've got this. Bruno Mars.
Rainbow the thing, lady?
Yeah. Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars is gay?
So
Does Bruno
like
Mars
something,
is gay?
It's like if Kanye West had joined the LGBTQ. Like that's literally probably what it looked like.
Let's go with the captured North Koreans. Yeah, that's what got him. Spencer ran afoul of some of those Thailand.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. They got knives.
Knives. That's what you need to be worried about, right?
Yeah.
Does Bruno Mars is gay? Does Bruno Mars is gay? You ever heard that
Bruno
one?
Mars the gay?
No.
Question mark?
No. Hold on. We're gonna take a tour into potentially copyrighted memes. So,
oh boy,
does Bruno Mars is gay? See, I think the animated one will get hit harder than just the game footage.
I feel like this is one of those moments where it's like, that's a man, Maury. That's a man.
So here we go.
A Bruno Mars joke to a friend of mine, like through like text message or whatever, and I needed a Bruno Mars image. And so I looked it up, and the first thing that came up was, I'm going to send this to Kevin, was this article titled, "The Rumor Come Out, Does Bruno Mars is Gay?"
Wait till they read it. See if I can skip ahead here till they read it.
Deeper down the rabbit. So, allow me to take the next 20 seconds to read you an excerpt of the "Does Bruno Mars is Gay?"
Here we go.
mill.
Yeah, because I've thought the same thing myself.
Yeah,
does Bruno Mars is gay?
Don't you? I do,
I
especially in
have
the
to
shower.
know. I does is have to know.
Bruno Mars is gay is the most discussed in the media in the few years ago.
This is from the
Even
article.
it has happened in 2012, but some of the public still curious about what is exactly happening, and to be the reason there is a rumor comes out about his gay.
Spencer escaped the North Korean lady boys.
At that time, he became the massive social networking rumor. The public, especially his fans, are shocked. He just came out with his bad rumor, which is spread massively. This time is not about his music career, but his bad rumor. The rumor is out of standardize of hoax.
What?
According to the last reported, this singer revealed himself as homosexual. Do you still believe or not? This rumor is really much talked by people, even in a person of his fans.
Even in a person of his fans. So
Like it's like a difference, like the cross between like a Down syndrome child and someone actively suffering a stroke.
Does Bruno Mars is gay? We may never know. We may never know.
I am
He
Ron
shocked my kitty,
Burgundy.
too. He cannot believe it. It's unbelievable, right, Kitty?
Great. But so not only did they decide that they were going to lose $200 million on this whole project, okay? $200 million in 8 years to make those video game characters, okay? And then they did this. So in order to make up the loss of Concord, the PS5 is set to receive yet another price hike in Japan. So the Japanese are going to pay for the failure of the Western developers to get this game out. Get this game into Western to Western audience standards. I love it.
Wouldn't be surprised if it went up here either.
It's the sad Hoshi meme. I will take the bullet for this one. You know, it's not even his fault, but they're punishing him. Now, I have to tell you, this is really bad, okay? You wonder why? Because the yen is at the lowest point it's been in quite a long time. It's very bad to have the yen this low, as we talked about a little earlier. Now, luxury brands in Japan are upping their prices. So apparently Sony thinks they're a luxury brand. Okay. Woo! Sony, a little bit bigger for their britches. And then finally, we get over here to the less complicated economic stuff. The price of rice in Japan is at an 11-year high. So there you go. You get to choose between dinner or a PS5.
So
Brought to you by Sony.
What were we eating? Can I get like the rice? That's just regular rice. Okay, well I'll just go with the PS5 then because
Yeah, right. That'll fill you up.
At least they'll have a distraction from me starving to death.
Yeah, right. You can't feel it through all the agony. But, Concord dev writes off critics saying, "Why would I care about a bunch of talentless freaks hating on the game?" So this is going well for them. They're having a good time there with Concord.
The good old-fashioned double down.
And you know, after all that kicking and screaming, and after all that, we're better than you, and you know, less than 700 players showed up. Still, there's less than 200 now. In fact, why don't we just jump over there and take a look at old Concord and see how it's doing right now? Yep. So there's 178 players right now, and its highest ever was 660. That's it.
That's what we like to call it. Oof.
Yep. And so let's see. Black Myth. Maybe. Hello. I love the Steam chart. You're just doing a great job.
Oh, there you go.
Benchmark tool. So there's 513,420 players online right now for Black Myth Wukong, and 2,406,967 was the all-time high, which is the all-time high Steam has ever recorded for concurrent online players.
Keep in mind, a lot of them are probably Chinese and on VPN.
Jacob has a question.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, it's good that Black Myth Wukong has a lot of players. It's bad that Concord does not.
Oh. Yeah, that's what we like to call it an oof out of 10. It's him rejecting humanity back to monkey. Yep. I agree. That's probably their best solution right now because whatever they're doing is not working.
Oh, did you guys see the Goku mod for Black Myth Wukong?
No, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, someone did a mod where they changed the main character into Goku, and it looks so freaking sick. It's a really good
Cool.
one.
I'm glad. That's a good decision. Maybe they'll take that and do something with that. So what you need to know about that company behind Black Myth Wukong, it's called Games Science Studios, and this is their very first AAA game. And why that matters is that sold 10 million copies in 3 days. Now, they didn't just drop from the sky and make a AAA game. They have been spending the better part of a decade plus building mobile games, which, if you don't know, mobile games, thanks to China, is the largest market on the planet. You can't go wrong making a mobile game these days. Even though the Google store is full of billions of these games, most of them get played at least once. It's amazing. So
it's amazing how all of these like big game like developers have spent like so much time on a game that absolutely just craps the bed, and then it's like I said like so many times, and then they end up getting like absolutely curb stomped by a game like Among Us that has like minimal effort and time like put into it, and it's just like so much bigger than they'll ever dream. Like somebody put effort into that game only for like what 600 people to play it at its peak.
Yep.
That means most at once.
Right. And that's that. You know, we'll continue to hear more about the destruction, I guess, of what happened.
Well, by the way, IGN put out their review of Concord, and they gave it a 7.
Yep.
And they said it isn't the most innovative or content-heavy hero shooter you could play, but with such fantastic competitive gameplay, 16 compelling characters to master, and 12 well-designed maps, it's got the makings of something that could go the distance in the months and years to come.
Womp, womp, wah, 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 wah.
Don't worry, guys. We're just getting started.
Yeah, right.
People are saying, yeah, this is the Sony bonus kicking in.
It is, you know, and I just have to wonder, like, the one honest guy in the dev group must be like,
come on, baby, I just want out.
Oh, before we close out, you guys saw what's going on with Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power, right?
Oh, boy,
what isn't happening with Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power?
Well, first off, of course, Rotten Tomatoes, there's the 85% critic score. But then there's that freaking article from Empire that gave it like a 4-star review and said this is like a token fans like perfect show or something like that. And I'm just like, what are you talking
about? Oh yeah,
that was out of 10, right? 4 out of 10.
No, this is a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it's right here. I got it. So you have it right there. And all of it.
If you're a token fan, it's hard to imagine what more you could possibly ask for. Like, this is the equivalent of what Game Radar said about, it was either Game Radar or the Gamer said about Star Wars Outlaws being like the best Star Wars experience, better than any other game before it. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Everyone in the comment section at QRT's roasted him for it too. Like, what?
Ridiculous.
So Force Unleashed, Battlefront, Knights of the Old Republic. Really? You're kind of wrong on that, but okay.
Either way, this show is also dealing with shipper problems. They've decided to get rid of Galadriel's husband and replace him with Sauron. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, the only reason why this show even got a season 2 is because Amazon invested like billions of dollars into this project. So it's like they literally could not afford to not have a season 2. It essentially would have been $500 million minimum on a project that, especially considering all the money that they spent on the rights to it, on top of all that.
Now get this, the local government is complaining that they're destroying the forest with their stupid constructions. So they're environmentally just disregarding everything, clear cutting, and then erecting these huge palaces that they just leave. Just screw it. It's your problem now. It's not safe to put people inside of. You can't turn it into a hotel. It was only meant to be used for like a week. But it's your problem now. This huge concrete structure is not safe to house people. But before we do close out, I have one final thing. It is good news, or I think it is. It's pretty cool. Here is the Batman popcorn bucket. Maybe. No, not the music. There we go.
And the stream's down.
Like that would kill him. But, so there you go. And then you turn the light on and the popcorn glows. Oh wait, never mind. But
that looks so cool.
They went with the Batman 89 color, by the way. So it's
Look, I've gone to a lot of movies over the last 8 years, and yeah, I've also noticed a trend that in order to win people back to movie theaters after crapping on their target domestic box office for so many years, the new trend is like, hey guys, we have commemorative popcorn buckets. So now we've started collecting popcorn buckets as a thing.
Well, it works for Disney, and because the Disney parks do it, so might as well.
And all the Disney projects all have their own popcorn buckets, whether it's the Aliens or it's the MCUs or the Star Wars. It's like, come get your big cholesterol bucket.
And this is what I
Disney parks. Come to Disney parks where you could get a $50 or $100 popcorn bucket, but
like, come to Disneyland. You should have outgrown this 25 years ago, but you have no kids and we need the money. So
meet you halfway. Here's a popcorn bucket that you can put the bat signal up on in your bedroom alone, so no one can see.
That'll be $139.99.
Actually, it's $35, which is cheap.
Well, that's just it. Is it like I look at these popcorn buckets and I think to myself, why aren't they hiring the assholes making these things to actually design the costumes and props in the movies? Clearly, they have an understanding of aesthetic. They understand what the spirit of the movie is. Like, only someone who understands Deadpool and Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds' intention for that movie would have made a popcorn bucket where you stuff Wolverine's face full of popcorn. Okay?
Why isn't Hasbro hiring them to design figures?
Well, again, like these criminally underemployed people here, like these guys should be front and center in the MCU's revival. Like they should be designing the Doctor Doom costume for Robert Downey Jr., not a Batman signal bucket. Oh well. But I think it's good news that they did this. This is fun. I know they're not going to do anything cool for Superman. They'll just make a big old diamond that you fill full of popcorn and it lights up and ooh, wow. But
at least the documentary looks good.
Yeah. You wait. They'll be like, you get through it and then all of a sudden, like the melancholy, hey, now you're an all-star will start playing. And they'll talk about his cocaine addiction or something that nobody ever knew about. Or that he was gay. Right? Like Abraham Lincoln. They'll just suddenly make Christopher Reeve gay. So, whatever. Did we talk about Ubisoft made Star Wars Outlaws players restart their saves? No, but I have a feeling I'll be making a video about it tomorrow.
Oh, God, that's
Teaser.
been a disaster.
Yeah.
That whole thing is a disaster.
What, Star Wars in the last 10 to 12 years?
Entertainment. Just entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly globally.
Ubisoft.
Our country peaked. Our country peaked at 9/11. I think it's taken us about 20 years for us to realize that was the peak of America.
I don't know about that. I think our country was hobbled on 9/11, where people had their ambitions about the world changed. That's for sure. Because I'm pretty sure, like, think about this, okay? Had Nixon not brought us the shuttle or ordered us to drop the Saturn V shots, and instead we took the taxi to space, I'm pretty sure we'd have a base on the moon at least by now. Okay, because 95 was when they were shooting to start colonizing Mars. If by now we would have at least had a lunar colony. And the thing is guess what? Guess what's easier to do than build a lunar colony? And perhaps, if you're a person who doesn't believe in space, can create a whole environment to fake the world into believing the moon is real. The moon is like a surface you can walk on anyway.
The Earth is flat. The moon's a myth.
It's all cheese. But that's what gets to me every now and then. Is just like we were on a trajectory. We were going to the stars, And then all of a sudden, some CIA dorks with fireproof passports flew some planes into some buildings. Everybody decided we were done with space. Weird.
Yep. Yep. And then next thing you know, Syria. No, we're getting too big into it. Let's get to it.
Yeah, a whole new episode. We'll have to do a conspiracy theory show on here. You know, bounding.
I don't know if YouTube would appreciate that, but we could try.
No, man. Wendigoon, Y files. Yeah, bounding beyond belief. But
all right, guys, let's talk about the CIA and demons. Let's go get into
Bounding's Believe It or Not. Ripley's not using it anymore. Bounding's Believe It or Not. Yeah, that sounds dumb enough to work. So you let us know in the comments or in the chat or however you'd like to let us know if you'd like to have a conspiracy theory show like once a month here on the Bounding channel, and we'll break out our best.
Or a simp stream.
Or where we just make fun of retarded people for an hour like we did in this show.
Well, that's regular programming, okay? You can count on that. Okay, but this is special.
I just want to take a moment to highlight Nerdigans here for a second, because I know we've talked about her new headphones here for a while, but I do like kind of the Undertaker color scheme that she has going on there with the black and the purple.
Hey, the bosses picked this out for me. I didn't do anything. They surprised me with this.
I would actually. When was the last time you had purple highlights in your hair?
I've never had purple highlights in my hair. The only highlights colors I've had, which I need to dye my hair. I've had my hair dyed red, different shades of red, different shades of brown, and I've had blonde streaks in my hair.
I think you need to go a little jet black and then like a little bit of like a purple streak going.
That is not happening.
Why not?
I will not put purple in my hair, and I will not. My natural hair color doesn't look like it because of all the other dyes I've had in my hair.
Well, what about
natural
indigo?
Hair color is like almost black.
Well, what about indigo? Can we?
I'm not putting that. I'm not going to give my mom a heart attack. I'm lucky I could dye my hair like different shades of red without it flipping out.
You should just go like pure like golden blonde and then see how your mom reacts.
I look terrible. No, the last time my hair was like a sunrise brown, which is like almost blonde. Brown. My hair turned blonde, basically, and it looked really bad. I look horrible as a blonde. My skin is too dark because I naturally tan outside. I haven't been outside much lately. My skin naturally tans, so like I get really, really dark. So yeah.
I don't think you get as dark as Jacob though.
Not as dark as Jacob, no. Like people will confuse me as Hispanic at times.
I haven't a clue what's going on here, but I'll act like I do.
Let's
and on that note,
and go salmon pink. Yeah, like Sakura, right?
No, I no.
You can cosplay that Sakura art there. That's official. Right? You're the age. Look, Sakura can pull it off in her 30s. Why can't you?
I will wear a wig. I will not dye my hair that color.
Well, there you go.
Guys, you have Nerdigan's Twitter. It's in her bio right here. If you bully her enough online, she will do an Elvira cosplay for Halloween episode, which is coming up in just a little over a month now.
Hey, pay for it, and maybe I will. You gotta pay.
See,
for it.
there you go, right there.
I need to have a place to live for one thing.
Well, it's too late. You've already committed to it. That's a contract. It's like Disney Plus.
Well, yeah, pay for it, and I'll do it.
And on that note,
so we're at the end of the show. I'm hoping. Okay, it's getting a little weird. So we'll close it out here with Miss Nerdigans. Where do they find you out on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter right there, as well as watch my anime and manga content on YouTube at Nerdigans Inc. I am doing my anime live reaction content at Patreon, which is patreon.com/FactorGirl. I am going to be doing anime recap content for Bounding. I hopefully will start doing it this weekend. I'm just dealing with a little bit of a medical problem at the moment, so I can't do it. I can't do it this week.
Take your time.
So, but yeah, I will try and do it this week. I'll probably start doing it for One Piece, because that's what I was going to do it originally for. I'll do it for One Piece hopefully this upcoming week. And then in terms of other content for Bounding, I got to get a couple of articles approved, but one including the Hibari article situation. But yeah, we'll see how things go this weekend. And I know, Jacob, I'm sorry I bailed on you yesterday, but I'm not in the right mental space at the moment. But so.
Well, you can always be in the wrong mental space and be on the show. You be like half the people that are already on there.
No. Being in the wrong mental space, I am like, let's see, 3 Coke Zeros in to be on here right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean by like the wrong, not in exactly the right mental space at the moment.
So we need to send you a big old box of coffee. I got it.
Say less. I can't do coffee. Coffee does not work for me.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts my stomach. But anyway,
my coffee has like a big skull on it, so I'm pretty sure that'll be really good for your psyche.
No, my psyche will be better tomorrow when I see my doctor. I will feel a lot better tomorrow.
I don't know what these red flames mean on the box, but I think that means spicy. Is that, you like spicy coffee? Is that good?
No.
There's actually a warning on the label here about pre-existing conditions. You wouldn't happen to have high blood pressure or diabetes, would you?
No, stop.
Okay, because I don't want to accidentally kill you, so it'd probably be a good thing to get that out of the way.
Stop.
All right. Speaking of stuff, Jacob, where do they find you out there?
I'm over at Society Reviews. We did an episode of The Barroom last night. Go ahead and check that one out. We did a review on The Crow, and Culture Casino joined us for that episode too. So that was a pretty fun one to do. I will be out of town for the next several days. I'll be going to Tennessee. So Sunday there will be a Bible Lens, but it's pre-recorded, so it's already set to premiere on Sunday at 7 p.m. And I won't be back until Tuesday, and that's when we do the next episode of the Barroom podcast. So that's where you guys will see me over there. Probably won't get to too many movie reviews this weekend because, yeah, I'm just going to take a couple days and chill and relax. So outside of that, that's all I got going on.
Well, and over here on Bounding Into Comics, you can continue to tune in here as we have videos every day talking about what's going on in gaming and anime. Nerdigans will be doing reviews for us, and Jacob does reviews for us as well. As you can see right here, we're trucking right along with some nice views. And if you did like that Dum Diddy Dum 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 song, we've got the full one right here with all of the dumb moves that Concord made along the way. So feel free to check us out. And also, don't forget, we have a Shorts channel, and on X, you can interact with Spencer over there because he's pretty good about retweeting and commenting sometimes. So if you want to talk to Spencer and find out what's going on, stay in touch with the Bounding X account. And until next week, though, we are on our way out. And we'd like to make sure that we thank our members before we go out here. So if you see your name, let us know. If you'd like to see your name, slap that join button below and become a member of the O.R.C.A. Good night.